Yo, welcome to the Blue Lounge, welcome to the channel, welcome to the stream, welcome to another evening of debate, discussion, and concern. And concern. A lot is happening today, a lot is happening recently in regards to Chelsea Football Club, and specifically in regards to the conflict that is currently kicking off in Eastern Europe. Today, we're going to be talking about the match against Luton Town tomorrow in the FA Cup 5th round. We're going to address the Chelsea presser, the Tuchel Presser, and what took place in that presser. We're also going to be talking about the latest developments in regards to where Chelsea is heading, because a lot of reports and a lot of news has come out today that could suggest a new future, a new course for Chelsea in regards to its ownership and the way it's been run and who is going to run it and who is going to manage it. You all know and you all heard about the statement that Roman Abramovic produced and issued that handed the stewardship of the club to the trustees. And then the following day, the club issued a statement which is a little bit more towards the situation, as they phrased it, the situation in Ukraine, which apparently the Board of Trustees didn't authorize. And apparently the Board of Trustees didn't know about this decision that was going to be implemented in respect to them and the stewardship. So there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding Chelsea Football Club at the moment. And that is what we're going to be discussing in tonight's stream. The preview and the future, the preview of the Luton Town match in the FA Cup, and also the future of Chelsea Football Club and its ownership. These are the topics that we're going to be looking at tonight. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope everyone is sitting comfortably. I hope you guys have your snacks ready, because it's going to be an interesting night, an interesting evening. Thanks to everyone who's jumped in already. There's 16 of you currently in the chat. Do me a favor and hit the like button. Couch, go back in the group and scroll up. Scroll up, it's there. Eric's seen it. Bobby's seen it. It's there. Scroll up, you'll find it. And if you bear with me, I'll send it to you in just a few minutes if you can't find it.
I mean, I sent another one, by the way.
You sent it to him again? Send it to him, to his account, to his own account. Maybe he can't. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm gonna I'm just trying to see how many. Well, okay, we've got 12 likes. 12 likes in the stream. Thank you. Do me a favor and continue hitting that like button as you come in. Let me address some of the people in the chat. ITM, welcome to the stream. Will things be the same if we get a new owner? I don't think it will be the same. It can't be the same. But we'll discuss that in a second. We'll discuss that. MCIG, big up to you. Welcome to the stream. Player 456, big up to you. Andon, big up everyone. Big up Andon. Hope you're doing good, my brother. And Couch is saying MDT is in the house. MDT is back. A lot of you guys were asking about MDT. Fair free, big up to you and welcome. Look, I told you guys MDT had to do some personal things. He had to take care of some family things, personal things, work-related things. And I told you the brother will be back when he is able to come back and when he has time to come back. And today, he's back with us. So, MDT, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you back. How are you?
Thank you for having me, Mo. I'm okay. I hope everybody's well. Bobby and Eric, everybody's family and everybody in the chat. Everybody is holding up. It's a Chelsea emergency, so I have to say something.
Yeah, no, listen. MDT, like I've told you, like I've told everyone who's part of this team, this is a family and you're always welcome. And I know everyone has, lives outside of the social media and, we've got to make time for everything. So, it's good to have you back. It's good to see you back in the stream and, hopefully we'll see you more often. And again, I totally understand your situation at home and at work. So big up to you and thank you for coming back. You see, people already starting to say welcome, MDT. Eric Blue, big up to you. Welcome. How are you? Back in a second. Okay. Bobby, big up to you. How you doing, my man?
Sorry, I had to unmute. Yeah, I'm good, guys. I'm good. Good to see you, MDT. No.
Eric is away from the keyboard for a second. Let me just try and send Couch Critic the link. I can't find his account. I'll just send it here one more time. Couch, I've posted it again in the group, so go check it out, mate. It's there. All right, guys. I'm going to jump straight into this because it's important that we all see what happened in the press conference today. Because today, Tuchel was asked questions that the politicians don't get asked. His role at Chelsea Football Club is the men's player coach, the manager of our men's team. Anything in response to his coaching, the players, the training, the preparation, the scheduling, the logistics, anything related to the team, he will answer, and he will answer without hesitation. And he has shown us that. Tuchel has shown us he has a lot of time for the journalists when it comes to questions relating to the team. You're going to see the press conference and you're going to see the questions that he was posed today. And I'll be honest with you guys, I was fuming. So can you imagine how he was feeling? So without further ado, let me get this press conference out of the way. Let's watch it together. And then we can address it together.
Is it are you watching the Beanie one or the Chelsea one? Because the Chelsea ones, I think it's caught at the start.
No, I'm watching. I think it's Hayters. Let me have a look.
Okay.
Let me have a look. I'm watching Hayters. Yeah, I'm watching Hayters.
Okay.
I think it covers.
Right.
It covers the whole thing. All right, let's jump in. And if it doesn't, I'll go back and find the other one.
Good to see you. Look, there's some serious matters going on in the world right now, and the club have announced that Roman Abramovic is no longer in control of Chelsea. He's passed control to the trustees. Can I ask for your thoughts on that?
Same thoughts than at the day of the final. I think that for me and for me as a coach and in charge of the first team, that decision does not change too much in the daily business, because I'm in a daily exchange with Petr Cech, and I'm in a very regular exchange with Marina about how to improve the first team. And this will not stop because they stay in charge. So on a daily basis, it will not change too much for me, I guess.
With the current state of international affairs, though, do you think Mr. Abramovic's ownership of Chelsea is a problem?
I have to say, I'm a bit like it's a bit too much for me to answer. I mean, I'm not aware of any details, and I'm not aware of the whole situation. And we all agree that there are situations that are much more important than football. This will never change, and situations like war are of course so much more important. But the role from Mr. Abramovic is not to me, not on me to comment, because I simply don't know enough about it.
Nick Pure.
Hi Thomas. How are you fixed on the injury front for Wednesday? And just also, how pleasing was it to have not just Reece James back, but seemingly, like you said beforehand, really in good form?
Yes, brilliant form, but now with a huge overload on his shoulders. The recommendation was 20 minutes before the match, and it was like over 70 in a final with extra tension, extra pressure in a final against Liverpool. So the situation was very good before the match, because we had only, I think, Ben Chilwell out, and the situation changed almost dramatically from this match. We have now a lot of players in overload, physical overload, and we have some injuries from the match. It's actually in the moment too much to comment about it. It would be a long list, and then we need to see. We had training today. The physios, the doctors are still working with the players, finding out, and we can take the last decisions tomorrow morning when we have the departure to Luton, and see who's ready to play, because we want to be ready to play. But yeah, we suffered. It's now a third time we play overtime, and it was an intense match, and this is where we are.
Ian Abraham.
Hi Thomas, how are you?
I am good, thanks.
You've already spoken about the fact that there are more important things going on in the world than football right now, but how much of a distraction is all this for you and for your players and for Chelsea Football Club?
I think,
and how can you lift the team after Sunday?
But to lift the team after Sunday should not be too hard, because I think that everybody knows that we played a very strong match, and we played to our characteristic, to our identity. We played with full commitment and a lot of quality. So this can then a result, we can never control the result, and a winner had to be found, and it was found after 22 penalties. That tells more or less the story. So that should not be the problem. It's only 2 days. We gave a day off to clear our minds, because it was not only a disappointment, of course, but it was also physically draining for us, physically demanding, and that leaves us with a 1-day turnaround to be ready tomorrow, because this is what it is all about. It's the next competition, and it's the next round. This is life at Chelsea, and we are we want to be competitive. We want to be competitive in different competitions. So we have to be ready tomorrow. Is that always easy? Maybe not, but this is what we do. This is what we demand. Me, myself, and of course from everybody around the team, and last but not least from the players. So this is where we are from the sportive side, and the other one. I mean, you always start the question with the same sentence. Yeah, we know there are much more important things than football, but can you comment? But you decide also to ask me about war, and how often do I need to say it? It's horrible. Of course, it's horrible. There cannot be any other opinion about it, and that's it. But why should we be more distracted than you at work? I mean, that's what I meant when I said it in the first place. Of course, it's out there, and we know there are more important things out there, and this will never change. This is about sports, and there are a lot of more important things out there, and still we have we still there's a huge distraction now going on, and we are worried. But at the end, still we try to create an atmosphere to come to work and focus on our work, which is our passion. So we are very, very grateful and very privileged to have it, and we will, and it's not that big a problem. But of course, I think that everybody in Europe more or less has like has some noise in his head that nobody likes, and that it's maybe the same for you. But still you try to do your job as good as possible, and that's the same for us.
Hi Thomas.
Hi.
I wonder, how worried are you about the future running of Chelsea Football Club? And I wonder, what would your message be to the fans at the moment?
I'm not so sure if I'm the person to give messages to the fans. Anything else but sportive. That we try to be calm here, and we are calm in the center of a storm or of some noise around us that we cannot control, and we are also not responsible for it. It's in the end the best to stay calm and focus on what we love and what we do, and this is sports. And I think we have a right to focus on sports. I think the players have a right to be focused, this is what we can tell the fans, and I think this is what the fans saw on Sunday. There is a big situation out there, and there is a lot of commitment from the players and from both clubs and from all the fans, and I think that everybody is aware that there are more important things, and the situation in the Ukraine is by far much more important than this game of football. And still there was a full stadium, and still we arrived with two strong teams who played a fantastic match, and this is what we can do to the fans. To distract them, to entertain them, and do what we do with a maximum effort and the maximum commitment. Because I don't see any other solution how what we could do different.
Dan Salisbury Jones.
Hi Thomas. Just on how passionately you spoke a moment ago about the horrors of war. How much do you hope that the owner is using any...
No, listen, you have to stop. I'm not a politician. You have to stop, honestly. I can only repeat it, and I even feel bad to repeat it because I never experienced war. So even to talk about it, I feel bad because I'm very privileged. I sit here in peace and I do the best I can, but you have to stop asking me these questions. I have no answers for you.
Okay, thanks Dan. Last two, and on the game please, Jerry and Nizar.
Hi Thomas, the Carabao Cup has gone now and the Premier League looks out of reach. Is the FA Cup your best chance of bringing home one of the domestic trophies?
Well, the best chance was on Sunday because we were in a final, and it was because it was the closest chance, and we should not think about the next final until we played the next match. Because in football there's only one important match, and it's the next one. This is how high-level football works for. And this starts tomorrow evening, and we have some obstacles to overcome, and we have some boxes to tick if we want to win there. And we need the right motivation, we need the right attitude, we need full commitment. And it's demanding, and still we expect it from us. But is it? I don't know. Is it the easiest or the closest or the most realistic? I don't know. Let's see what's going on tomorrow. And if we want to talk about it, we need to win anyway tomorrow. And this is what we're focusing on.
Last question in the broadcast is Hakim Ziyech.
Hi Thomas, hope you're well. How's Hakim Ziyech? We expected him on the bench at least for the final, and he wasn't there. And
No.
Also Mason Mount as well. He's got a lot of criticism for missing those chances. How has he handled it? And does he deserve the blame for that final?
Nobody deserves the blame for missing a chance. I'm happy I did not read any news about it, because I mean, I can clearly understand that one person did not want to miss the chance the very most, and this is Mason, and you can be also sure about it. So But this can happen. This is part of the sports, that not every chance is a goal. Yeah, we had huge chances. Mason had huge chances to decide the match for us, but he is fine. He did a strong match. He was in these situations. He arrived in good timing, in good positions. That's exactly what we wanted, and we missed a bit of luck. Hakim is not available for tomorrow, as he was not available for the final. Unfortunately, it's still, he feels still uncomfortable. He was not in team training today. He's one of the guys who will miss the game tomorrow.
All right, so that was the Tuchel press conference. The journalist continued to bombard him with questions that relate nothing to his role as Chelsea men's coach, Chelsea men's football manager. PR questions, political questions, and asking him to. They were trying to get him to, say something out of line and to say something out of his scope, and have that as a headline for them moving forward. And
that was Matt Law, by the way.
It was frustrating. It was frustrating to watch. It was frustrating to watch, and more than one journalist today. I counted at least 3 or 4 journalists. They kept on starting in a very what's the word here? A very positive way, because you are so passionate about this, because you have so much of. This is look. I have not been through war. I don't know what this is all about. I'm privileged to have lived in peace all my life. I cannot comment. I cannot talk about that situation. And listen, that is not what his job is, and that is not what Chelsea Football Club is involved in. You want to ask about war? Go ask Ministry of Defence. You want to ask about relations? Go ask the Foreign Ministry. Go ask the Ministry of Interior. Go ask anyone. Go ask the Prime Minister. If you want to know about the position that we are going to have in respect to that fight, to that war, go ask the people who are dealing with it. Tuchel, his job is dealing with the football team. He's dealing with a match tomorrow against a very good championship side, and that's what he's concerned about. He's got a team, with injuries. He's got players missing. He's got to pick a squad to go out there and play against Luton, win that game, and to come back and play against Burnley on Saturday after playing 120 minutes against Liverpool and at Wembley. That's what he's concerned about, and that's what you, as sports journalist, should have been asking him about. What is the team news? What's the injuries? Selection, morale, form. That, logistics. Ask about that. Don't ask about Ukraine. You want to find out about Abramovic, his future? Go speak to the board of directors. Speak to people in that area of the business. Don't speak to Tuchel. That's not his job. And he ain't going to speculate, and he ain't going to dig a hole for himself. Why would he? So be professional and just ask the right questions. Now look, all right, this is my opinion. And if you guys think otherwise, let me know. But I want to address 2 topics before we go into our regular match preview. I mean, this is part of the match preview, but then we're going to talk about the lineup and whatnot. I want to address the Tuchel press conference as we heard it, and I also want to address the story that me, Bobby, and Couch were kind of talking about backstage, and I also had conversations with MDT about this, and it's a topic that we really need to address, and that is the future of the club based upon the reports that have come out today, and also the reports that have come out recently, ever since this whole thing started. There's been more talk about it today. Now, we're going to address that as a second part. First, we'll talk about the press conference. Then we're going to talk about that, because that is important. Everyone in the stream right now, panelists and people in the chat, We care about the future of Chelsea Football Club, and we want to know where we stand, and we want to get as much information as possible. I have a bit of information. Bobby has information. Couch, MDT, Eric, you guys in the chat. Let's discuss this further, and hopefully we can put our minds at ease to some degree. Before we talk about that bit, let's talk about the press conference. I'm going to go around the board, and I'm going to start with Eric, and go Eric, Bobby, MDT, and Couch. And Couch, the reason why you're going last is because you came in last. If you can't find that link, it ain't my fault, buddy. Sorry, Couch. Eric, take it away, mate. Your thoughts on the press conference?
Yeah, it's like you said. Stick to football, right? It's something that is very difficult to talk about, especially for people who haven't experienced it, like you were saying. So the fact that the journalists feel so free to asking these questions, even the question about, some kind of statement to the fans, that's not Tuchel's job, right? Tuchel isn't involved with club statements. So I don't know why they asked him that question. But, I think it's just out of place. And, I don't know what they expected him to say. It's obvious that they were just looking for something to, try to make Chelsea look bad, right? They were looking for some kind of soundbite to, undermine his position, make things worse than they already look. So it's just sad to see.
Eric, I'll go further. I'll go further and say this. They wanted Tuchel to say something that they could use and they could spin to attack Chelsea Football Club with.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like to me. Because why else would they ask about questions that have nothing to do with the fixture tomorrow? Because this was the press conference for the Luton game tomorrow, FA Cup. And if you're going to ask anything apart from that, then you have a different reason for making those questions. So, I'm sorry, I'm going to go negative. I'm going to go negative on that, and I'm not going to say, they're trying to be good journalists, because a lot of people make the excuse, they're doing their job, they're trying to be good journalists. No, they're not being good journalists, because if you're a good journalist, then you're reporting on what your job specification is, or you are a sports journalist. You're part of the team that reports on Chelsea football news. Ask about Chelsea football news. Don't ask about anything that has nothing to do with Chelsea football news.
Yeah, I agreed. Just to conclude on this talk, I think that the only thing they could have asked was, how did this affect the players, which is already old, right? Tuchel already addressed that. He said, we're trying to, not let it affect us, even though it obviously will affect us. And we're trying to perform, produce a good performance in the League Cup final, which we did. So it's already old news. There's nothing to go over with that. So it's just very out of place that the journalists are so, they don't have any sort of hesitation. They don't feel like it's wrong to ask these kind of questions to Tuchel. They just do it because they feel like they're entitled to ask these kind of questions. But that's all I have to say.
I totally agree. The standard of journalism is also being affected. Bobby Smoke Signals, welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good, my brother. What's your reaction to watching that press conference, mate?
Well, I think everybody knows how strongly I feel about this. And the funny thing is, today I've spent... This should be, although I regard this as my home platform, as it were, but this should be, I think, about the fourth platform I've joined. And before coming to this and having sort of a conversation with you and Couch about the latest rumor, because it's still a rumor, really, I attended a listening group, which kind of opened my ears and finally got me to reflect. And this listening group was like all these other rival fans. They were talking about how basically they were going to carve Chelsea up, take this player, take the manager, take this, take that. They're all talking about the doom and gloom. And it suddenly became very, very much confirmed in me. And I found some peace. And what was confirmed in me is that these people, media, and various other orders have been out for Chelsea in particular for quite some time. We all know this. They want to destroy the success of the club, and they hate Roman in particular because of his success, his commitment, and his love for the club. Now, we find ourselves in a situation where an excuse has been created. I'm not watching any of this, waving Ukrainian flags, this and that. It's all smoke screens in football. They don't care about Ukraine. They care about using Ukraine. And that's what they're doing in the Chelsea situation. They're using it. Because anybody with any form of common sense will know not only do the club and the fans not have anything with what's to do with what's going on, they don't support what's going on. And the owner, if you have any kind of sense, even if you hate him for his association with the likes of Putin and so on, you have no evidence that he is part of what's going on, just as you alluded to yesterday, Mo. So what we have is a witch hunt. And they're using this to execute their long desire to hurt this club for years. Now, I'll quickly round off here and just say this. This whole thing has left me very disturbed. I mean, the whole kind of Ukraine thing and all the stuff around it. And I've been asking some questions. Today, we're talking about Roman is this, that, and the other, and this, that, and the other. Nobody has ever questioned the owners of Newcastle about the bombing and starving of children in Yemen, which is still going on, by the way. There's so many horrible, heinous things going on associated with a lot of these very, very rich entities and individuals. But all of a sudden, because of this particular issue, we're going crazy. We're chasing everybody that so happens by mere accident of birth to be some kind of Russian. This is all wrong. Nothing about this sits well with me. It doesn't feel right. And why I've decided, and I've sort of come to some peace, when something is so forcefully against you and so disproportionate, that's the time to be at your calmest. Sit back and watch and see why it's really happening. Because it is only when you actually allow it to take its course that you can have an appropriate response towards it. And that's where I find myself now. I'm like, wow, this wave is a little bit too powerful. Let's just see. Let them come at us. Let's see what this is really about. And then we'll be able to, maybe from the ashes, rise up and respond correctly.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby, in regards to owners and being linked with entities, like I said, I have a bone to pick with Roman, but it's nothing to do with Ukraine. This, for me, is a smokescreen. Ukraine thing and Roman is a smokescreen. If I'm going to pick a bone with Roman, I would pick the bone in regards to the way he was handling the Israeli-Palestinian situation and his support for the Israeli government against the Palestinians. I could talk about that, and I would have all the right to talk about that. But that was never mentioned. That was never addressed. If we want to talk about the Glazers and their support for George W. Bush and his bombing of my country, of Iraq, we could talk about that, we can address that, and we can sanction him. Newcastle, again, what you said spot on in regards to Yemen. You can also add to that list Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City, because their owners are also implicated in what's happening in Yemen and other parts of the world. So these owners are billionaires. These owners make their money doing business, some arms business, some political favors. They do that. However, that isn't what is being addressed today. Because if we're talking about Roman Abramovich and we're talking about his bad handling of certain things, then talk about the things that he did do badly. Let's talk about the Israeli-Palestinian thing. But don't talk about the Ukraine thing and make that the reason why you want to attack Roman Abramovich. Because if anything, he is trying to do something to help resolve that situation.
Yeah.
So for me, it's all about hypocrisy, and it's all about what fits my agenda best today. That's what I'm going to make right and what I'm going to make wrong. Nobody talked about the killing of people in Afghanistan by the Soviets. They were funneling money in and weapons in to the Afghanis to keep the fight going with the Soviets. Politics is politics. I don't want to get into too much of it. I mean, you all know my background, and I have a lot of pain from war. Tuchel hasn't lived through war. I have. 2 wars I've lived through, not 1, 2. Wow. Okay, but for me, this isn't something that you need that you should use to fill your agenda or to fit your agenda. Because right now, the war that I'm living is against Chelsea Football Club, and it's by these journalists and by these snakes out here trying to destroy the club that I love. Look, Chelsea Football Club, and I said this in the chat, and I know I'm taking a bit of time here, but Chelsea Football Club is bigger than any individual. I don't care what your name is. I don't care what your bank balance is. Chelsea Football Club is bigger than every one of us. We make Chelsea Football Club, all right? Chelsea Football Club will be here. Chelsea was here before the Blue Lounge, before me, and Chelsea will be here after the Blue Lounge and after me. It will still be here, all right? And while I'm here, this is the club I love. This is the club I support. This is the club that I will do whatever I can to represent in the best way I can. We see there's a difference between supporting a club and being a fan of a club. You can be a supporter of a club and contribute to that club, but then you can also support another club and another club. But a fan is something inside of you. It's in your heart. It's in your emotion. All right. When I went to that cup final and I came home, and I started talking to my family members, how I experienced this, how I felt about this. This is something that you do because it's something you feel inside of you. It's not something that you do because, it's just a game that I went to and I enjoyed it. It was a fun day out. No, it's something inside of me. That's what Chelsea Football Club is about. And I know, and I'm waffling now, so I apologize. MDT, give me your reaction.
Sorry, Mo. Sorry, MDT. I just want to say one last thing. My heart is hurting already, but hearing you talk, I feel emotional. I feel emotional because I am so sorry that you had to live a life where you can come on this platform and say you've seen 2 wars. I don't even want to start to imagine what that's like. And that really hurts me even more to think that all these power brokers, all these people, every last one of them, they are all part of the same hypocrisy. The only people that suffer are the ordinary people, just like Mo sitting here. All he does is support a football club. All we do is want to fairly and honestly, in the arena of sport, share our club to success. And there are people, I think this whole thing's happening to Chelsea should open our eyes to what's happening globally, to the fact that there are just agendas at play here. And there's a lot of propaganda at play and a lot of evil people that are hurting innocent people for their own ego and their own gain. That is what really breaks my heart. And I just thank God Almighty that at least you're here, you're whole, you're well, and you're able to share that experience with those of us listening to you. And I really pray that whatever's going on in the world right now, that somewhere, somehow, people are going to stop this horror and get together and ask themselves, what the hell are we doing? What are we doing here? Is this it? Is this what it's worth? Anyway, I better shut up because I'm very emotional about this right now. I'm hurting.
Bobby, it's not a nice or an easy topic to talk about, but I've seen a lot on social media over the past couple of days of people actually having their eyes open. This has opened the eyes of many people. And I'm talking about the whole situation and the way that the world is dealing with it. And again, you know, it's something for a different channel, for a different day, but the way people are handling this crisis in comparison to the way other crises have been handled. And I'm going to say this because I have a brother out there in Ukraine who I don't know what his situation is. A member of this panel, Hawkes. Hawkes is a medical student in Ukraine, a panel member, a YouTuber, a Chelsea YouTuber. I haven't had any contact with him for the past 4 days. The last time I spoke to Hawkes, he told me he was in a bunker and they were being shelled. This was, I think, the second day of the invasion, and I haven't heard from him since then. I hope if he's okay, I hope he's fine. You know, my thoughts and prayers are for him and for everyone out there. What hurt me was yesterday someone sent me a clip. Someone sent me a clip, and I swear to you, it made me cry. Bomb shelters are open for Ukrainian nationals only. Black and brown people are not allowed to go into those shelters. The police stopping them from going into those shelters. They have to fend for themselves while these missiles are coming in. If you go look for them, these clips, you'll find them. Why is that? Are they not human beings? Are black people, brown people not human beings? Is their lives less valued, less worthy than the others? And all I could think about was Hawkes. All I could think about was Hawkes because he's out there. He's from Nigerian descent. He's a Nigerian brother out there studying at university for his medical degree. He's a Chelsea YouTuber. He's just recently hit 1,000 subscribers.
No, I feel sick. I've seen some of these videos you're talking about. People trying to flee and not being allowed to get onto trains because of the color of their skin. I mean, what is this? What is this? What have we become? What are we? What are we as people on this earth? Really? I have, do you know what? I have no words. I have no words. I know Hawkes. He used to come on this platform. You know, I feel sick. I'm sickened. I don't even watch the news anymore. I don't listen to any of these things because it's all a pack of narratives to fit their different agendas. As I've said earlier, they're all a part of the same hypocrisy. And if this is what is happening there, oh God.
Let's move on. Guys, look, I'm sorry that the stream kind of digressed in that direction, but yeah, it's something that we all feel very passionately about. Let's just stick to this press conference, and then let's address the Roman Abramovic situation and move on. It's hard. It's very hard to keep things separate. Let's just try. I know it's not easy. Let's try. MDT brother, welcome back to the stream. It's been a while since I've had you on. I know it's not an easy topic to talk about, but I'm looking forward to your insight, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mo, and big up to Couch, Bobby, and Eric. To be honest with you, I was very lucky. I was a kid in Sierra Leone when the war broke out. Although my parents are not Sierra Leonean, my father is a diamond dealer, so he was there between Antwerp in Belgium, Sierra Leone, Kenema in Sierra Leone, and also Zaire. That time it was Zaire, now it's Congo, Kinshasa. And that's my family background. So we left Freetown because of when the war was in Liberia, Monrovia. We have family members that left Monrovia because of the war. They came to Kenema with us. And then my father wasn't sure because of they were going after people from the diamond areas. So my father flew from Belgium to Gambia and came for us. We left Sierra Leone 2 weeks later. The area we were in fell in the rebel hand. And my cousin, my elder cousin, who stayed over to look after the office, was killed. And he wasn't buried, he was eaten by hungry dogs in the street because people flee. So when people are talking about war, they don't have a clue. I was not there, but I have family members that were killed behind because when we left, the ones that decided to stay, you know what, let's look after the businesses and whatever, then we will leave. The place fell 2 weeks after we left. So my cousin, like my uncle's eldest son, was killed by the rebel and left there, and he was eaten. He's not the only person that was left in the street. When the hungry dogs the stray dogs, end up eating the human beings in the street of Kono. So war is not something that's nice. So people that are going on about it this way, they don't understand. I wish they never experienced it, or they don't have family members, or they never go through it. But war is not nice. And with this Tuchel press conference, for me, where I'm coming from, my issue with it, I don't remember Pep Guardiola being asked about the Emirati involvement in Yemen, in Libya. I don't remember even Tuchel being asked about the Qatari involvement in Yemen, in Libya. Libya destroyed Africa, the whole of North Africa, the whole of West Africa, whole of Africa. The destruction they did in Libya, that's what we are facing right now. Okay, Nigeria is dealing with it, Mali is dealing with it, Burkina Faso is dealing with it. You name a country in Africa right now because of the fall of Libya. Okay, I didn't hear anyone ask any British journalist ask their Prime Minister David Cameron why they were involved in those. Okay. I didn't hear anybody ask any of the Manchester United managers why they were supporting their president that were killing those things that was going on. So why ask Tuchel? Tuchel is not responsible for what's going on. Okay, war has been happening. We know people were close to governments that were involved in other people that are being killed. They're not white people. Let's be honest. They were not white people. That's why their life is not important, because there's no human involved as far as they're concerned. So why ask Tuchel? When the Palestinians were being bombed, why didn't they ask the former Chelsea managers what's Roman Abramovich got to do with it? Why now? Why this is the one that is the red line? So for me, that's the thing. I think it's unfair on Tuchel. It's unfair because if at all you want to use a sport to do something right, I get it. I understand, but go for everybody. You can't pick and choose when to use it. I remember when the Arsenal Football Club was being funded by people that were benefiting and supporting the apartheid regime in South Africa. Head to toe, the diamond, everything was coming from apartheid in South Africa. So if we want to go about history of British hypocrisy, the world, America, everybody, hypocrisy all over the world, it has to do with something with people's color of their skin. That's when the red line is. But if it's not close to their interest, they don't care. They can be the people that even support the other people to go and oppress the other people to benefit their own interest. For me, if you want to do it, you have to go for everybody. Newcastle, the same thing. Nobody's asking Hoy, what's his name again? Their manager about in press conferences about the Yemeni people. Nobody's asking the Iraqi people. Nobody's asking. Because guess what? There's no human involved. They're not human. I'm a Chelsea fan. I don't like what's going on in Ukraine. Roman Abramovic's mother was a Ukrainian. The father is Russian. He was born in Russia. So why are you picking? He has connection in both countries. So he's Russian, but he's not Ukrainian. He's both. Roman Abramovich is Ukrainian, he's Russian. But he wasn't born in Israel or Palestine. He was not born there. So if you want to go after Roman, you should go after Roman for Palestine first. Because he uses money to do something bigger there. But guilty by association. This is crazy. This is what black people and other people that are non-white have been feeling for hundreds of years. You are guilty by association. Okay? Chelsea Football Club, Roman Abramovich owns Chelsea. You can do whatever. If you wanted to go to Roman Abramovich, you knew that, okay, his money is not clean. Why give him the chance to own Chelsea? Okay, you have all this information. If you want to get rid of whatever,
his money only became dirty when Ukraine became an issue.
Thank you. So Ukraine is the red line. You know why? Because they're white. I will say it. That's it. If Roman Abramovich was supporting, it was close to Paul Kagame and the killing Rwandese, nobody will say a word. If it was close to even Macky Sall, the killing Senegalese, nobody will say a word. Because guess what? They're black. If it was close to Bin Salman and the killing Saudis and Iraqi, whatever, nobody will say a word. You know why this is an issue? It's because of his white people. I will say it here, I will say it again. In anywhere I will say it, and I will say it, and nobody will come here and dispute it. That's the only thing. Because if we're talking about war,
MDT, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to cut you off. You don't say this. Do you know who's saying this? The journalists on CBS, on CNN, on Euronews, on BBC, they're all saying it. They're all saying it. This is a civilized nation. Like my nation isn't civilized. Your nation isn't civilized. Do you know what my nation? The title of my nation is the cradle of civilization. The cradle of civilization. Like we are not civilized. They are civilized.
It's
painful, mate. It's painful.
If anybody know history, they will know the history of Baghdad. Baghdad, it was a center of education in the world. That's like you're talking about 1,500 years ago, 1,200 years ago. That was before Europe even existed. We know as it is. People used to left Europe to go and gain education in Timbuktu, in Baghdad, in Damascus. Go read. You will see history. They went there to educate themselves. But people don't know. This is what I'm talking about. People don't read anymore. They just go by clickbait and whatever. I don't watch news. You know why? Because most of the things they're doing, the news is a propaganda machine. It has nothing to do with whatever. I listen to it, but I don't watch it. The reason why I don't watch it, I just listen to it to know what they're talking. But I don't watch it. Watching and listening are different. So that's the thing about whatever. But for me, with this press conference, why Tuchel is not responsible for what's going on. And Tuchel is just working for Chelsea. Roman Abramovich owns Chelsea. So if you're going to ask Tuchel this question, make sure you ask every Premier League club that's involved, including Tottenham. Okay, they're all involved. Anybody, the owners are all involved in people that are committing crimes against other people. But you will pick and choose which people those are against. Go and check the Caribbean islands. Okay, they don't. Some of the most profitable farmlands in Jamaica, in Trinidad, or whatever, is owned by people in the House of Lords here in Britain. Their parents, their great-great-grandfathers were owners of human beings that look like me in the Caribbean and in Africa. So I don't want to go there because I know my history. I know my great-grandfather left Fututoro because of Charles de Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle, the French guy, General Charles de Gaulle, born his father and his brother to death, put fire on them because they refused to be part of the French liberation. Okay, put fire on them in Fututoro. That's why my great-grandfather escaped from there to Gambia. Okay, stories like that. I know my history. So I can go what Winston Churchill did in Africa. He just did it in the 60s. In the 50s and 60s. Not long ago, before people start going, it happened 800 years. No. Okay, so let's not go there. Let's not go there. It depends who the crime is committed against. That's all. That's all I gotta say. Sorry about that.
No, MDT. I just want to say something. It's funny because what we're saying rings true with a lot of people. However, I've just seen my subscriber numbers starting to plummet. So, if you don't like this and you want to continue unsubscribing, go ahead. If you don't want to hear facts, if you don't want to hear real talk, go to other streams. You know, you're welcome to do so. And for everyone who is liking the stream and who is subscribing, thank you. Couch, let me get your thoughts. Big up to you, my brother.
Yo, fellas, man. So, interesting stream for sure. Continuation on what we were dealing with yesterday, and this is just part. Like, I mean, Mo, you opened with this thing talking about why are the journalists asking Tuchel about this stuff, and this stream is a perfect example as why. This is big news. You know, this is not something that we can just gloss over with football.
You and I, we can talk about this because we are fans. We have our own responsibilities and accountabilities to the club, to our society, to our way of life. He is being asked about his job and his role as the manager, about his upcoming fixture, and that is why there's a difference. I mean, I totally agree. Yeah.
Trust me, I get what you're saying, but like, there's no story. This game against Luton tomorrow is no bigger. It's not going to be anything bigger than what they can get from Tuchel speaking about what's actually happening, the atrocities that are being committed right now. So, and let's not turn a blind eye to the fact that our owner is in some ways linked to this situation, like whether directly or indirectly, he's linked to it. So, I have no problem with journalists asking questions about it. You know, when we're talking about like other regimes and whatnot, then the atrocities that, you know, have been committed and not covered, yeah, that's an MDT hit it right on the nail. Like, I don't have to go further than that. Like, that's basically what it comes down to. You know, it's blonde hair, blue eye versus, you know, dark skin or of a, you know, olive complexion. So yeah, that goes without saying. But I don't think that this is something that we should shy away from as Chelsea supporters. We shouldn't be like, okay, well, what about them? What about them? We have to deal with what's happening within our camp right now. And I know this isn't about Roman Abramovich, but you know, this is affecting our club, you know, and I would hate for Roman Abramovich or Tuchel or anyone associated with the club to just be like, well, why aren't you talking about this situation then, when this is a real situation happening right now? No doubt the media is responsible for a lot of the stuff that we're hearing right now. When you're talking about, you know, the links with the Ukraine and Roman and Russia and whatnot, but I don't think that, you know, the Saudis or anyone that, you know, are the owners of the PSGs and the Man Cities of the world, the Newcastles of the world, the fact that they're not being brought up in the media is neither here nor there for me. It's not a concern for me, because when we're dealing with real lives and stuff like that, you know, I take it upon myself to look at the situation as such, you know. So this is a real situation that we as Chelsea supporters have to look at on our own. You know, I'm not shying away from the criticism. I'm not shying away from the scrutiny. I'm not shying away from any of that. This is a real situation, and you know, the fact that like Newcastle haven't been able to deal with that's on themselves. You know, you're hiding from the truth of things right now. If you can't look at what's happened, what your ownership has done, you know, wreaking havoc all over the world, you know, that's on them. But me as a Chelsea supporter, and you know, the ties and links that Roman has to the Kremlin and whatnot, I can't just turn away from that. And regardless of whether or not Roman is directly involved in this stuff, and I agree with everyone on the panel, I don't think that he is. I think that he's being, you know, used as a stick, you know, a stick to beat him with, just the fact that he had connections with him in the past. You know, I agree that, you know, he's not in any way, shape, or form connected to this particular, you know, invasion. Let's call it what it is, an invasion. But, you know, you can't help but say that, yes, we have to look at this thing. You know, we can't shy away from the, you know, from the scrutiny that's involved in it, you know. And yeah, you know, I've said it yesterday, and I feel like now is a safe place to say it again, because we've already opened up this thing in a major way. You know, Roman Abramovich was the person who put it into Boris Yeltsin's head that, you know, Putin should be his successor. He was the first person to do that. So whether or not the relationship is the same as it was back then to what it is now, whether or not there's a different, like a structure, paradigm, whatever, you know, that's still a fact, you know. So we have to deal with that as Chelsea supporters if we can't separate the football from the man. You know, I'm of the opinion that you can, because I think that Roman has done a lot for this football club, a lot of great things with as far as humanitarian work within the world. But I can't ignore the fact that he's linked to Putin. You know what I mean? Especially when given the conflicts that we're finding right now around the world. You know, there is a link there. And I think that, like, us not dealing with it and trying to say, well, what about them, looking at other people's backyard, is not really addressing the situation correctly. You know, so I mean, I'm probably on my own in that, but I can't not look at this thing. And
no
man is wholly sane or sinner. Like I'll say this: no man is wholly sane or sinner. And you could probably, you pull back the curtains, you'll probably see a bunch of people that have, you know, dirty laundry and whatnot that needs to be aired. But you know, we can't ignore it and just it's not there anymore.
Yeah, no, listen, Couch, we are all human beings, and you know, we've all done things in the past that maybe when you reflect on, maybe you wish you hadn't. Maybe you made decisions that you wish you hadn't. But there are certain things. There are certain things that you can't deny. The relationship between Abramovich and Putin is documented. It's not you just making this up because you've read it somewhere. No. This is documented. There's records of meetings that they've attended together. There's decisions that were made. There's contracts that were signed. There's a lot, and it's documented, and it's there, you know, for everyone to see. It's open record. However, what is he doing? How is things moving forward? This is what I want to address in this part of the stream, and I'm going to let MDT kick us off on this. But this is what I want to say before I get MDT to come on and talk about this bit here. Chelsea Football Club. The reports are suggesting that Roman will be selling the club very, very soon. Believe them, disbelieve them. We're gonna talk about it, but the reports are saying that it could happen within days. Now, I'm not sure how long it's going to take for a club to be sold, the agreements, the contracts. I mean, you know, a player being sold takes a minute. So I'm not sure how it's going to be for especially Marina. So what's it going to be like when it comes to Chelsea Football Club? Because the talk right now is going to happen quite quickly. Now, the issue I have here is this. It seems that Roman is not only selling the club, but he's also selling his assets, personal assets, home, etc., because he believes that sanctions will include him very shortly. He will be unable to access these assets that he has in the UK if he doesn't get rid quite soon. True or not, we'll discuss. Implications here when it comes to Chelsea Football Club. He will probably try to sell if it's a quick sale, breaking even. Breaking even means that it'll probably be like for 1.5. 1.5. Who is interested? Where could Chelsea Football Club go? Because we know he was offered 2 point something not so long ago, and he refused it. Different circumstances, different situation. So I want to address this, and I want to address the potential future. Now, whether or not it's going to happen, we don't know. We'll discuss. MDT, kick us off, mate.
Yeah, with this topic about the sale, and I gotta be honest with you, whatever happened Chelsea will not be the same anymore. Whether Roman sell or didn't, the things have changed. I mean, for the foreseeable future. Okay, because one thing, if he doesn't sell, it's either the government freeze it or take control of the club, and then they will end up selling it to one of their donors or whatever. Those are the options. Or either the government take it and give it to the Chelsea supporters, whatever, whichever way. But changes are going to happen. And even if they didn't take it off Roman, let's say they didn't take it, they left it off him, Roman Abramovich will never, ever invest again in Chelsea. Forget it. Yeah. He will not put his money anymore. This is why that stadium now is we're never going to have a stadium anymore. So supporters that wanted to stay in Stamford Bridge, thank you, have your club. So the growth of Chelsea, whether we like it or not, we have to admit it, is going to be hard. Now, Roman will not put money in, whether he stays or go. The new owners that are coming in, if they are venture capitalists, if they're European, forget it. Will we run like Arsenal? If we're lucky, like Liverpool, where you sell your top players and buy up-and-coming players, hope they go well, and depend on your scout. Or Manchester United. The only reason why Manchester United are sustainable is because of their marketing success. That's about it. Venture capitalists don't put their money in anything. They take money out. They don't put money in. So the only other area where people can come in and put money and whatever and don't care about anything success is the Middle East or Russia. Russia is out of the way. So it's the Middle East. Okay? So them too now, they're scared of this. If this happened to Roman Abramovich, believe it or not, the Middle Easterns will be withdrawing money they spend because this is a reality of them telling them, the day we fall out with you, we're taking everything that you own in our country. Okay?
Yep.
So forget it. So now football, the face of football will be the venture capitalists, the Americans who don't spend money, they take money out, or the British venture capitalists, or any other European venture capitalists. Unless the Chinese, even they are venture capitalists, they spend money, they take it out. Because it's only China where if you attack their businessman, they will attack your businessman. They play tick attack. So for me, either way we look at it, it's not a good news for us yet.
I mean, do you see this happening, or do you see this as being something that potentially could happen, or do you see it actually happening?
Yeah, no, it can happen. If Roman Abramovich wants to sell, he can even sell within an hour. Because all they need to do, they just have to have an agreement in principle. The little details will be sorted out later. But the problem in there is, what about if Roman sell, as soon as the sell went through and the British government put freeze on the account? So he lose the club, he lose the money. Do you get it? So the situation is very peculiar. You can sell, you can do the details later and sign like a memorandum of understanding because you guys agree on price or whatever. But the buyer will want to know whether they're not breaking any law. Okay, whether in America, because if you're paying in US dollars, which is most payments happen, America can come after you. Okay, what about if you end up buying it and the British government still come after you and then they seize the money from Roman as well? Roman would need assurance to say, okay, I will sell and leave your country and you guys leave me alone. If he doesn't get that, there's no point selling because they will seize the money still. So that's this exactly is how business works.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because when you are going to sell a business of that magnitude, of that expense, that is going to leave a massive money trail. Yep. Therefore, if he is put under sanctions, regardless of where he is, that money he will not have access to. So, agreements need to be put in place. He needs to sell it in a way where maybe he doesn't actually get the money transferred to him, rather to an entity that is linked to him through a third party, where he is then able to have access to the money indirectly, even if all of his assets are still frozen. So there is a lot. There's a lot of work involved in this, and this is why I said, doing it quickly. In theory, the signature, the exchange, the transfer could happen quickly, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done before that can actually take place.
The only thing that can help him, I think that can help him. I think if the Israeli government help him out, that's the only way out of this, where payment can happen in Israel and stuff like that. That's the only way out for him. If they're gonna sanction him, that's the only way out for him. Okay, because every other country will go for the money. Yeah. They'll go for the money.
Yeah, but
so
yeah.
Yeah, for any other country, they will go for the money. So he will need assurance. He will need people from high places to be involved. Okay, like that. And for me, he will need like somebody like in the Israeli government and whatever. I bet talks will be going on and see what's gonna happen. Because if he can said, okay, I will sell everything you want in your country and transfer everything in Israel, or do the transaction in Israel, so that he might be shielded from it. But the British government, or if the transaction is in American dollars, the American government can go for you if you use their currency. It doesn't matter where you live, because the dollar is count as the property of the United States. If you do a transaction in a dollar, they can come for you anywhere in the world. So this is the problem he will face. So if America comes for him, if he uses the dollar, that's a problem. So the only people that can shield him right now is the Israeli government. And also, like one thing I want to close on, like Couch was saying. Couch, you know me, I'm very passionate about human rights. For me, that's why I never ever praise owners. I'm happy with Roman what he did for Chelsea, but I've never been passing that defend him. You know why? Because I'm not happy with the way he does his business. The same thing with Mosa, because that's why when people were criticizing the Newcastle and Manchester City, I defend them, because we have the same issue. So that's why I always defend other people, because we are in the same boat as all of them. So the reason why I'm saying this is because of why now. You should have gone after him long time ago with the Palestinian issue. Do you get where I'm coming from? So why now? For me, that's the frustration.
Yeah. The thing is this. The double standards and the hypocrisy is for all to see. It's for all to see. Now, I have always maintained, and I will continue to say this: Roman Abramovich, what he has done for Chelsea Football Club, no one will ever forget. No one will ever forget what he has done when he owned and the owner and the what's the word here? The caretaker of the club. For the past 18 years, the man has done wonders. He has done wonders for Chelsea Football Club. We can't deny that. The success that the club has had under his leadership and his guidance and his stewardship, whatever term you want to use, you can't deny it. Does he have a black mark against his name in other areas? Yes, he does. Are we now trying to find ways to, when I say we, I don't mean us, I mean the media, the politics. Are they trying to find a way to bring him down because he is associated with someone that they are no longer friends with? Yes. And that's why he's suffering. He is currently suffering that. They will never take any action against him or anyone who is, doing something to a nation, to a place where they don't care about. They don't care about Palestine. Therefore, what he does, they couldn't give two things about. They don't care. They don't care about Yemen. What they care about is if we sell enough weapons to these countries, we'll make some good money. So let that war continue. Let these people continue to die. Bottom line, dollar. That's what they care about. So Roman today, he is on the wrong side of these people. That's all it is. He's on the wrong side of those people who control world politics and who dictate what's right and what's wrong. They dictate what's right and what's wrong. You know, there was a phrase, and I'm not going to use it. I'll get in trouble because not everyone is going to understand it. Not everyone's going to understand it. But it's something along the lines of your good guy is my bad guy, and vice versa. You know, who I see is good, you see is bad, and who you see is good. No.
Sorry, Mo,
depending on who's in power.
Sorry, Mo, I don't want to cut you. Can I remind everybody this? When Nelson Mandela came out of prison, an American guy or a British journalist, I think Donahue or whatever, asked him about Cuba. How could you call yourself this and this and this? And then Mandela said, your enemy cannot be my enemy. If you go on YouTube, search it. He said it. So because of you hate somebody, you want me to hate them. I'm not going to do it. Because when they were fighting the apartheid regime, the only support they have, it was the Soviet Union, Cuba, out of Africa. Yeah? Apart from the Caribbean countries. Yeah.
Mandela was a terrorist. He was a terrorist. Yeah. That's why he was in prison. He was a terrorist. And then all of a sudden, he's no longer a terrorist. All of a sudden, he's a freedom fighter. He's anti-apartheid, anti-racism. Now that's a good thing. While for 27 years he was in prison, he was a terrorist. By the same people who then started to support him and started to back him. The narrative changed so quickly. It changed so quickly. Now, for me, what he did in regards to try to bring justice and equality to his country, I will always praise him for that. And you know, history will look back at him as being someone who is great, rightly so. But because the people who control the media, who control the narrative, blamed him for certain things, you know, he was given that label. Anyway, we keep on digressing, man. Let's talk about, listen, if Chelsea go down that path, DJ Saf sent me a message just a few moments ago saying that there's an English businessman by the name of Sir Jim Ratcliffe who's interested in buying Chelsea Football Club.
Can I answer that? Can I answer that guy?
Go ahead.
He's a venture capitalist. He's gonna take debt and buy Chelsea and then use Chelsea as collateral to finance the debt. He owns Nice. You know Nice at France? He owns the club. He has not put his own single money yet in the club. So the guy is a billionaire on paper. Some of these people, their billionaire is shareholding. Their money is in share. They don't have cash money. So most of these billionaire people are talking about, they're different. Roman is different and few of these Arab guys are different. So most of these English and these American billionaire people talk about, their billions are in shares, not in cash money. They deal in debt. So when you work in finance, you know the money, they don't have cash money. The club will be loaded with debt and the club will be paying that loan for the next 50, 60 years. Okay, just like Arsenal. Most of them, this is the thing, this is the problem. Billionaire on paper and billionaire in cash are different.
Question. Could these people actually buy the club? Could we actually be in that situation? Do you think it could happen?
Yes, they can buy it. Any of these guys can buy it because they have the connection. Some of them are donor to this government. Some of them are donor. This is why they're pouncing. Chelsea, you know, let me tell this Chelsea fans right now for you guys to understand what's going on. If this venture capitalists get hold of Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, the location is in, is one of the most expensive locations in the world. Not in England, in the world. Not in Britain, in the world. Cobham, the training ground, is in one of the most expensive residential locations in the world. Okay, you know Kings Meadow, where the women's football team is a prime real estate in that area. So Chelsea is an asset to these people. Chelsea, if you check all the real estate Chelsea currently owns, is up to 4 to 6 billion pound worth. Not the club, I'm talking about the total asset, like the training ground, the stadium, the land. And people like me that are pitch owners, if a venture capitalist get hold of Chelsea, they will not give 2 cents about us. You know what they can do? They can move Chelsea anywhere and change the name to Chelsea AFC, and then guess what? Build around the pitch, put down the stadium, sell the land around the pitch, and guess what? Squeeze them out. When your land is surrounded, what do? You sell by force. Okay, and then this is the thing. Leeds United, their training ground was sold and leased to them for I think 50 years or 20 years or whatever. You remember more, you know that. Leeds United. So prime real estate, that's what Chelsea have. That's what Roman has made Chelsea have. Okay, I don't agree with his method or whatever, but Chelsea, for a venture capitalist, Chelsea is a money-making, Chelsea is a gold mine. They can get Chelsea, they can get Chelsea for nothing, and then guess what? And make money out of Chelsea and their fans. So it is not, I would rather Chelsea, the government take Chelsea, if that's the case, and give it to the fans to run, than we get bought by a venture capitalist. A venture capitalist is the worst people to get your team. They don't care about nothing.
All right. I want to bring in Bobby, Couch, and Eric Blue. But before I do, venture capitalists, American business owners, Arabs from the Middle East. It's looking like the club will be sold because Roman is going to have to try to recuperate what could possibly be a massive loss if he doesn't sell. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the situation is dragging on. It isn't going to be a quickly resolved issue. The political, the geopolitical situation that's happening in Ukraine, the war that's happening in Ukraine, that's going to drag on. Therefore, more action is going to be taken. Sanctions will be taken. These oligarchs will be sanctioned, and Roman Abramovich could end up losing the club if he doesn't sell it. So I want to get your opinions, lads. I know, and I enjoyed reading the conversation that Bobby and Couch had earlier. I want to hear your thoughts on this, guys. So let me hear it.
Yeah, I fully understand what MDT is saying. Having said that, let me make one thing clear. Sir John Ratcliffe, I don't think Roman will sell to him. Roman never trusted him back then, and I'll be surprised if he trusts him now. What I do feel that if he is going to sell, it will happen quickly. And I also feel that Roman will not sell. It will break his heart to sell Chelsea, and he would not sell Chelsea to somebody who will not at least try to continue his legacy. Whoever that is, I don't know. Whether they're Americans, Canadians, Arabs, I don't know. But within the sphere of the super wealthy, he will have his contacts, and he will know those that have had their eye on Chelsea for a while. That is if he sells. I would like to believe against belief that there is the outside chance that he might not sell. I don't know. But as it stands, it looks like he will. And just like with Ken Bates, Ken Bates, lots of people dislike Ken Bates as a person. But in his own way, Ken Bates loved Chelsea. And when he couldn't fund Chelsea, he wasn't going to sell Chelsea to anybody that he knew it would leave them in bad hands. Now, I know the circumstances 100% different. But despite the pressure, Roman will do his best to try and leave the club in fairly good hands.
Yeah, I totally agree. But sometimes you find yourself being limited in your options, and that is my concern because of the time that he has to make that decision. His options may be limited, and that may result in a negative decision. Couch, give me your take on this.
Yeah, no, I'm so much information here, and so much of it resonates with me. So you see me in the background just like shaking my head. Yeah. It's because so much of what's been said so far just resonates. But as far as like the selling of the club goes, I do think it's viable, and I do think it's very much plausible. Like, if anything, there's fertile ground for it right now, just given the climate of everything that's surrounding the club right now. There's fertile ground for him to sell right now. And to be honest with you, it's probably in his best interest to sell right now. if he's thinking about like his overall his what's the word, his assets and whatnot. So, but with that said, yeah, I'm a firm believer that like he won't leave this club to somebody that is just basically going to use it as a hedge fund, or like hedge fund companies like you see Man United, and like how Kroenke's just like siphoning money out of the club to build his football team in the States. I don't think that he'd ever do anything like that. It's just a matter of now whether or not we can find somebody who is as passionate as he is, which probably is rare. You're not going to find somebody that's a billionaire that is as passionate about football as Roman is. So it's really just trying to go with the lesser of two evils, find somebody that, is not necessarily a hedge funder, or somebody that is independently wealthy, not necessarily some sort of like, like MDT said, which is true, like liquid assets versus, actually concrete money, like do they have that in the bank? Can they actually bankroll this club? I don't want to go down the rumor mill, but like, this is not the first time that Chelsea have looked at like selling, or at least explored the option. I have from very, very reliable, good sources that this is not the first time that this has at least been looked at. It got shot down. Don't get it twisted. He wasn't the club wasn't stupid enough to leak that sort of information, or let that information get out without like shooting it down immediately, because that obviously devalues the club. But I have it on good authority, and I can promise you that it's good authority, that Chelsea were taking inquiries as to who they want to sell to, what people are interested in buying, and a certain individual at the club right now is actually at the club currently as a director or something of that, or chief executive of some sort, with that in mind, the selling of Chelsea Football Club. That's how he ended up at the club. So yeah, this is something that they've been talking about for a while. And in the interim, Chelsea have been always trying to be self-sufficient. We talk about the period where Chelsea are buying these like terrible footballers, bargain basement footballers, and championship squads buying Danny Drinkwater and what's his name, Baba Rahman, and all these guys,
Bakayoko,
Djilabadji. Like that wasn't because the Chelsea lost ambition. It's because Chelsea didn't really have the resources at the time, unless Roman backed them, to go after like the Pogbas at the time, the Sandros at the time. We just didn't have those resources. So yeah, this has been a long time in the making. Maybe not the selling of the club, but the club becoming more self-sufficient and not depending on Roman to underwrite everything has been happening for, I can't tell you how long, 13, at least since 2013, 2014, in and around there. So this is nothing new. It's now, what can we do with this club in terms of like, can we generate the same sort of like revenue and revenue stream that we currently have with Roman? Because let's be honest, we're still not operating self-sufficiently. What is it, 2018, 2019, Roman underwrote like 271 million pounds when Sarri came, when we made all those sales then. And then again this year, you could almost bet, like after the pandemic, that probably Roman's going to underwrite again. So I don't know. It's a precarious position for sure. I'm not necessarily opposed to new ownership. I think Roman's been a brilliant owner, but he's kind of been taking a backseat approach for a while now anyways. So what is the next step? Does this new regime bring in their own staff? Does that mean that we don't have the same people that are operating the club? Does keeping Roman at the club hinder our ability to attract corporate sponsors? That's something else we have to look at too. It's not just about, Roman's under, like, this is a global issue. So like the global entities that would invest in Chelsea would probably be less inclined to do so if Roman continues as owner of this club. So that could hurt us even further. So I can understand that where this whole thing's going, and it's
marketing and sponsorship and whatnot.
100%, right? Like it's frowned upon right now. Like if they seize his assets and whatnot, like what happens then, right? So anyhow, I don't know who the next buyer will be. Like I said, big up Nick Blue. I love what you have to say. Come on, at any time, man.
Nick, Yeah, no, he's asked me for the link. He's asked me for the link. Listen, Nick,
I have good authority that somebody was trying to buy Chelsea. I guarantee you that. All right, it's okay though.
Nick, I will give you a chance to jump on towards the end of the stream. So I will make the stream public towards the end, the last half an hour. So if you're still around then, I will put the link in the chat and you're welcome to jump on and give me your thoughts. And that's for everyone, not just Nick. Anybody who wants to jump on, you're welcome to do so.
And just to address that point, I never said that he wanted to sell Chelsea. He was definitely putting the feelers out. It wasn't about trying to sell Chelsea. It was more about like testing to see what the worth was of the club. And he didn't go to them. They came to him. The buyers that I'm talking about came to him and said, listen, what will it take to do this? And obviously the number was unappealing, or probably would have been sold by now. But yeah, it's not so much Roman sussing out who potential buyers are. It's buyers coming in, looking at the climate of the club at the time and looking at the situation as maybe this is an opportunity to sell. And it's no different from what we're in right now. Like, let's be honest, this is another shark circling. There's an opportunity here. What can we actually get this club for right now? So only time will tell, but it doesn't bode well for this current regime if things continue as it is right now.
Yeah, no, I concur. Let me hear from Eric Blue. Eric Blue, what's your thoughts in regards to the sale of the club by Roman Abramovich?
Yeah, just to start things off with, just to jump off what Couch was saying, it's not just plausible that Roman will sell, right? I think it's probable. Like, I think most of us expect it to happen at this point. So we can, talk about whatever journalists we don't like and how, the style of the way they do things, it seems like they have an agenda. But the reality is, when the Athletic starts talking about things like this, you have to pay attention, and a lot of reputable journalists who, they are fairly reliable when it comes to Chelsea news. When they start talking about this thing, you have to pay attention and you have to understand that it's just the reality of the situation. So I completely agree that Roman would look for somebody who, would, I'm not saying they would be anywhere near what he has done in terms of, being a good steward of the club, actually being a supporter of football, right? Somebody who cares about the sport and wants Chelsea to be the best. But he'll definitely look for someone who, is remotely similar to him in that sense to be able to move the club forward. But I can't pretend like that's an easy thing to do right now, because not only will the person need to be, as rich as Roman, right, with real cash, like we've been saying, but there needs to be somebody who cares about the sport, somebody who is willing to invest into the sport, somebody who is willing to be in debt, right, to the club, and put their own money in on a consistent basis. So it's very difficult to think that.
Eric, so what you're saying is you want to see a person who comes in to invest rather who comes in to withdraw money, right?
Yeah,
so you want somebody to put his money in and to try to to continue like Bobby I think mentioned to continue the development and the legacy. That is the desire. And I'm sure, and I totally agree. Roman Abramovich would not want to sell to anyone that does not see the club in that way, in that light. However, my concern is the time.
Yeah, that's part of the whole problem, right? So the time is one thing. In fact, the time is the main thing, right? So it's very difficult to just think that this will be doable. Maybe with more time, without having the pressure of needing to sell sooner rather than later, you could really, select who best fits that profile, for the next owner. So that's the main reason why this is such a difficult situation. but we're hoping that we get. And I don't want to bring the human aspect into things. The human rights part, because I'm not sure if any, maybe very few of these people, who are at a certain level when it comes to wealth, right, don't have some kind of shady thing to do with how they acquired all their wealth. So I won't get into that, but I think it's very difficult to see who would be the best fit right now, to take over, to be the new owner. So let's just watch how things go and hope for the best. But in the near future, I don't think I'm not really worried. I'm not I'm not panicking like some people on Twitter. But let's just take it slowly and see where it goes.
Look, I'm gonna just say this. I'm just gonna say this. Football is a sport. We are fans of a club that is one of the best in that sport. And I think whoever has ambition and has the money to buy this club will be looking to be part of the legacy and part of this club. Because if you wanted to buy a football team, there's a lot of cheaper football teams out there. There's a lot of clubs that would love to have investors come and buy them. But if you're going to come and buy Chelsea Football Club, you're buying history, you're buying legacy, you're buying reputation, you're buying the world champions. You're buying literally the current holders of the world crown, the European crown. Therefore, I can't see anyone buying Chelsea and not understand what they're getting into. Therefore, I think, if we are bought by another entity, the likelihood of this entity being, able to support and sustain the vision is strong. Now, I know we've seen bigger clubs or big clubs getting bought by people who are not really football people, and it does happen. A few big ones in the Premier League. It does happen. But let's hope. And at the end of the day, this is something we can't really control. But let's hope, let's pray that we don't get, stitched up with this. But because it could potentially happen. Before I go into the match preview segment, does anybody else want to add anything on this topic before we turn the page on it?
Can I say just one last thing? Don't be surprised, because people, when they're this rich, they have egos. If they give him ultimatum, don't be surprised if he give the football club to the fans rather than to lose it to another billionaire, because this is an ego thing to them as well. It's not about whatever. If sometimes you rather give it away to people that care about it more than to give it to your fellow billionaire, sell it to them, they will look at it like, I'm the one that gets you, whatever. Don't be surprised, because he loves the club. That's one thing, that's whatever. Don't be surprised if he hand it over to the fans.
Does anyone think that any of our corporate partners are putting pressure on him as well? Like, does anyone think that that's something that could happen?
Explain. What do you mean by?
Well, listen, I'm pulling my support if you continue to back this regime or whatever.
I see what you mean. Okay. All right.
That could be, and it could be, just detrimental if any of our big corporate sponsors decide to get involved in any way. Don't forget, we're linked with Nike, which is an American company. What's the other one? 3. I guess that's the UK based company, right? So
3G, yeah.
So that's those are two big Western corporate entities right there. So they do have some influence and sway, that's for sure.
Yeah. I think the biggest one is the UK government.
Yeah.
All right. Look, we've given this topic a good chunk of time. I know you guys have sent me lineups, but I'm not going to use them.
I'm not gonna check him
Mine
because
was great, man. What are you doing, man?
I did check the last one. Let me just have a quick look at it.
It's the same one, but just without Ziyech.
and without a goalkeeper.
Well,
And he's still got Chalobah playing, even though he's got 7 stitches. Come on, man.
Just tape it up and you go, man. It's a big deal.
Listen, man. The man might not have any kids, man. That's how bad it is. All right, let's do our own lineup. Listen, people in the chat. Once we've concluded the lineup, and we'll open the link for all of you to give me your thoughts and opinions on the game and anything we've discussed today. Look, guys, what formation do you reckon we're playing tomorrow? Let me hear it. 4 at the back? I don't think 4 at the back because Ziyech ain't playing. But hang on, we don't have enough defenders to play 5 at the back, do we?
No, I think it's 4.
4? 4-2-3, 4-2-3-1?
Yeah, I had something different, but yeah, sure, if you want to say that.
Well, what was you thinking?
I was thinking 4-1-3-2.
4-1-3-2.
So diamond midfield and 2 up top.
Yeah. So you're thinking about this, and so something like that, yeah.
Yeah. A variation on
All right.
4-3-3, I guess, but.
Yeah, I mean, we could go with the wider version.
Yeah, that looks right.
All right, you guys concur? MDT, Bobby, Eric, what do you guys think?
I mean, tomorrow, I think you'll go with the 4. Is it 4-2-2-2 or whatever it does nowadays, or 4-1-4-1? Is it 4-1-4-1 or 4-2-2 whatever?
I mean, he plays this formation. You know, one holding.
Yeah, 4-1-4-1. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go with this. Let's go with this. Okay. So, are we going with Kepa in goal?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Kepa. Now, centre backs. I mean, Rudiger and Thiago are the best option, but Thiago has not had a rest in ages. Do you guys think he'll be doing this? Do you think he may play Malang Sarr and Rudiger? I mean, Christensen and Chalobah, I think they're both out. What's the situation with Azpilicueta? I'm not sure about the situation with Azpilicueta.
He came off, so
apparently he's injured, so he won't be playing.
I would assume he's not going to play. That's why I said Reece James.
Yeah, I can't see Reece James starting though.
Well,
Reece James is out as well.
How is he out?
He's not out, but
Tuchel said, yeah.
He was overloaded. He played more minutes.
What might happen if I don't think Reece James, because I think Tuchel said he was only meant to play 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. When Aspi was injured, he ended up playing 60 or 70 minutes. So which was over.
So who comes in for?
I think he might go 3 at the back and play Cho there. You never know.
Play Cho at the wing back position?
Or one of the kids, whether it's one of the youth team players.
I mean, I actually went with 3 myself, but
that's cool.
I'm actually now thinking that this could be the right option, because what we could do is you could play Malang Sarr, Thiago, Rudiger, or maybe because Malang Sarr is left-footed, so you'd have Malang Sarr here. So let's just put this here. So you got Sarr, then you got Thiago.
Thiago after 120 minutes.
We have no choice, man. And then you play Rudiger.
Yeah, these are the choices that you got to make, though. Like that would be one I would not.
Unless could we see a youngster coming in? Could we see?
Lewis Hall, right?
So what is really? Sorry, guys, but what is really wrong with Chalobah? Just give me the. So he has a cut. So
seven stitches. Yeah.
So what? So what? 7 stitches, man. What does that mean? Just tape it up and go.
I mean, did he play? How long didn't he play the rest of the match after he got?
He was fine.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm thinking he's going to play over Silva as far as I'm concerned, because I can't see 38-year-old Silva playing
So
this match 120 minutes.
I mean, what about Christensen?
Is he back yet?
No, he's injured.
Oh, he's injured?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So this
is Christensen truly injured though? Because that's the one that he didn't really speak on the injuries.
I think he is. People in the chat, tell us what you know about Christensen, because as far as I heard, he's not available. I don't know. I could be
Why
wrong.
did he miss the last game again? Or was it an Achilles, right? Something wrong with his Achilles or something like that?
No, I think that was Cho. Cho has a sore Achilles.
Oh, okay.
Christensen was just because Cho and Ruben, that injury they had is a problem for the rest of their career. They have to make sure that they look after it proper. They just can't.
Did you hear what happened with Christensen then? Because I'm assuming that.
Yeah, I think it was the game before. You remember he was sitting on the floor every 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The match we played, which we won. The match that he played that we won. Is it Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
Which one? Yeah, he was sitting on the floor every 5 minutes and holding his head or something like that. I don't know whether it was a migraine. I don't know what it was, or he was just sitting on the floor. I'm thinking, he's gone again. Yeah, go and watch the game again.
Well,
he was sitting on the floor.
A migraine. He's like, ah.
Yeah. I'm thinking he's gone again. We're not gonna see him for top couple of months.
Yeah. I think he's got contract issues. That's what I think. Got pain in the contract.
That's what's giving him the migraine, the peas, man. Where am I getting my peas next season?
Right.
All right, so let's just stick with this. If Thiago comes in, Thiago comes in. If not, I'm gonna pick my my left wing back with Boogeyman in mind, because he's not here, so I'm not sure where he is. If you're listening, Boogie, I hope you're having a fantastic evening. I'm gonna go with Kennedy as our left wing back. What do you guys think? Tomorrow.
Could happen.
Yeah, I think that's a shot.
He's part of the squad, and he's not being. I mean, if you're not going to play him tomorrow, when are you going to play him? So let's go with Kennedy. Now I know there's only. This is the one that Boogeyman goes for. I'm going to go with this one. Yeah. Doesn't say Kennedy, but we'll just pretend he's Kennedy. All right. Actually, no. You know what? Let me do the icon flex. So we'll go for Ashley Cole. All right. Right mid or right wing back? Who we going with? Reece James. You guys reckon we'll risk it, or do you reckon maybe Callum, maybe Pulisic?
No, I think Callum.
Callum, yeah. All right, yeah, I think so.
Is Callum fit? Like that? That's the other thing too.
He is, yeah. He did rule him out. He didn't rule him out.
He didn't really rule out anybody other than even
he said yeah.
They said there's injuries, right? There's new injuries, but he didn't really rule anybody out.
I wish the journalists were more focused on who's available rather than
Sure, that would have been nice.
Yeah. In the heart of midfield, I'm thinking Jorginho, Saul. What are you guys thinking? Or maybe
Ruben.
Yeah.
Jorginho.
Yeah.
Ruben, Jorginho. Bobby, you're quiet, mate. What's your thoughts on this, Bobby? Are you here? Can you hear us?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know I was on mute. Ruben for sure. Ruben, Georgie.
Ruben, Georgie. Ruben, Georgie, Saul. Hang on a minute. What about Saul as a wing back?
It's possible.
I think Saul will play one of the three top forward. Yeah, I think
that's
so.
Possible.
Yeah.
For me, that's his best role anyway. For him, me, he's more of a threat.
He is. He's. Yeah. He's. Right. Let me put in Ruben here. So Ruben. Where is Ruben? Oh, I'll put Ruben. Ruben. Am I going blind? Am I spelling it wrong?
I think if you put Loftus, you'll find it.
Yeah, Loftus.
Oh, I'll just put cheek. Cheek. Bloody hell. There we go. And then we go with Georgie. All right, now, are we going with Lukaku here? Because it'll be easier to know who's going to be on the wing if we know who's starting as a striker. Are we going Lukaku or are we going Kai Havertz?
Lukaku.
Lukaku? Now, who's going to be on the wing? Ziyech is out. Mount could start.
Timo.
I like Timo. Timo played well. Yeah, I like Timo. Timo and Mount?
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
You all agree? Yeah? All right. Timo and Mason. Let me scroll with the right forward card. All right. So that is the potential lineup as predicted by the Blue Lounge. Kepa in goal. Saw Rudiger, Chalobah in defense, with Kennedy left wing back, Hudson-Odoi right wing back, Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho in midfield, Timo, Mount flanking, Lukaku up front. That's how we're predicting the attack or the team that will take on Luton away in the fifth round of the FA Cup. All right. Good lineup. Good team. I have a feeling we'll see one or two more youngsters, though. I have a feeling we'll see one or two more youngsters. Right, people in the chat. Yeah, I mean, they'll definitely be in the squad, and I hope they'll get a chance to play. I hope we can get a couple of early goals. I'm not going to go into the predictions yet. We'll leave the predictions towards the end of the stream. Let me share the link with the people in the chat. I want to give them a couple of minutes each to come in and give me their thoughts and opinions about what we've discussed today. So, guys, lines are open. You're welcome to jump on and give us your thoughts and opinions. Lines will not be open for very long, so make sure you get in quick and let me hear what you have to say in respect to anything we've discussed today. While we're waiting, guys, does anybody want to touch up on anything that we discussed from you guys, from the panel?
So much to discuss today. Where do you start? Like, if we go back, it just goes down another rabbit hole, and I don't know. There's so much on my mind right now that I'm not gonna lie.
I'm still upset about that final.
Yeah,
right?
that too. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's just a little bit like you worried about the club, but also I embrace whatever happens, like that attitude. Whatever happens. So it's a club. It was here before me. It will be here after me. And so Chelsea have to just find a new dimension to move forward. So my hope is, I don't want anybody that's owning the club that's looking for money. I want people that will own the club looking for victory and being the best. Want it to be. So that's it. If we have an owner, even if they don't have to put money in, once they're not taking money out, I'm okay with that. I believe Chelsea can find figure a way out to sustain themselves. But we don't need people that come in. Their main purpose is for money making. So rival fans, what they think or what they say, that doesn't bother me, because I remember when we used to spend money on people like Chris Sutton, and they come, they're doing badly, but we still support them because we don't have any choice. We can't just throw them away. So so I'm not like that worried. I believe that Chelsea will figure it out. It's just the ownership who owns it.
You know, we are a big club with a lot riding. You know, in respect to achievements, in respect to the players we have, the fans we have, the club we have, the support we have. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. I'm not going to say we are able to maintain it regardless of the situation, but it will take a hell of a lot more to put a club like Chelsea down. Let me bring in Nick Blue. Nick Blue, welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. I know you've been waiting for this opportunity, so I'm going to give you a minute to give us your thoughts and opinions. Take it away, brother.
Yeah, a big up to everyone. MD, nice to see you back. Couch, Bobby, Eric Blue, always Blue. Yeah, you know, about this, about Roman Abramovich, I still don't believe, you know, they're going to make him so. I still think something will happen. So he keeps Chelsea. You know, the way he's doing it now, he knows what he's doing, you know. He must have some plans behind him. You know, that MP, I forgot his name, what said them stupid things.
Chris Bryant.
Yeah, that
Chris
idiot.
Bryant,
yeah, Chris Bryant. You know, that's a typical rubbish talk, you know, agenda against Chelsea. And, you know, don't forget, in the past, we had a lot worse than this. We were nearly in the third division. At one stage, Bobby might remember as well. At one stage, and we survived, and we look where we are now. So even if Roma does so, or something happens and he goes, I'm sure he's going to have someone to take over who he knows and trusts, because he loves Chelsea, he loves football. So I'm not too scared, if you know what I mean. I'm not too scared if whatever happens, because I know and trust Roman to do what he has to do. Whatever he decides, I'll be happy with. But you know, I can't understand why they don't go after these Arabs. Newcastle and Man City, they're doing a lot worse. Like you said, Mo, they're doing a lot worse to, you know, to the world than the Russians are. And it's not the Russians, it's Putin and his regime. You know, this is just one dictator. It's nothing to do with Roman or the Russian people, like I keep saying. They don't. No one wants Putin. You know, and if Roman knows him, he knows him.
I just want to clarify. I'm going to clarify something, Nick. I'm not saying go after the Arabs. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is go after anyone who is doing something wrong, and have the same standard that you measure with for everyone. Don't go after Abramovich for Ukraine and forget about Israel. Don't go after the Glazers. Don't leave the Glazers out and go after Abramovich. Don't leave MBS and the Saudi what is it, Saudi something fund, and leave out X and Y. Have the same standard that you're going to be gauging. Is your standard human life? Is your standard peace and security and prosperity? Is your standard corruption? You don't want to have any of that? Then use that standard for everyone, all the time. Not when it suits you, you use it, and when it doesn't suit you, you ignore it. That's what I'm saying. It ain't about Arabs, it ain't about Russians, it ain't about Americans, it ain't about anyone. There's bad people from all races and all colors and all religions, and there's good people in all races, all colors and all religions. There's good businessmen and there's bad businessmen. You know, have a standard that is morally and ethically sound to all, rather than just to who you want to protect and who you don't want to protect. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're saying. I'm not saying I'm just calling the Newcastle owners, you know. Well, you know, they're doing a lot worse. Or the same, whatever. But, you know, this government, the problem is they're against Chelsea.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
the
Nick,
media,
Nick, sorry, I just want you to understand something. When you say Arabs, you're including the entire Arab nation. Don't say Arabs. Say MBS. Call out the organization. Call
I
out.
said the owners of Newcastle. That's what I said.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The
on.
owners of Newcastle City. You know what I mean. They're all the same thing. So, but the problem is the government and the media. They want us. They don't want us to do well. They don't want Chelsea Football Club to do well. With or without Roman, they're still against us. They were before Roman, and they still are now. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying though. Like I don't think that this has anything to do with, for the people that have the wrong intentions, the ones that are just like using this to harness their energy, their negative energy at Chelsea. This has nothing to do with the conflict. I think Bobby touched on this as well. It has nothing to do with the conflict. This is just people using the situation to harness their anger and frustration at the club. But we can't separate the fact that like what is happening right now is still intertwines the club in some way because of the relationship with the owner and the Kremlin. So we have to be able to at least shoulder that and take that on and look at it and really scrutinize it in the right way, as well as the fact that we have to, just block out all the noise from all these idiots in the media that are just using this as a harness to vent frustration. But
you spoke today.
The two things need to be handled.
You spoke today with that law asking stupid questions. I can't believe
that wasn't Matt Law, by the way. That wasn't Matt Law.
It was.
That's what
Matt Law.
No, it wasn't Matt Law. They said his name actually before the guy started speaking, and he doesn't sound like Matt Law either. But yeah, that was like the narrative that was Matt Law, but it wasn't.
They're all
Matt
the
Law.
same.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
They're all the same. But that's what I mean. It's an agenda against us, against Chelsea Football Club, like they always will be. I don't know why this agenda, even when we were, not so good, and they still had agendas against this club for some stupid reason. I don't know. That's what I'm really pissed off about.
No, but how do you call it? Nick Blue. Sorry. Nick Blue. How are you doing? The reason why before Chelsea was a target is because of the real estate industry wanted the bridge. Okay, that was then. They wanted that because it was a prime estate. Okay, now it's a different. But one thing that's crazy, people are not even whatever. Do you know there's a conservative Friends of Russia group that the Prime Minister, the UK Prime Minister's girlfriend was one of the members, the leader of the group. Okay, they have Friends of Russia, people like Russians that are resident here, give money to the conservative government, party through them. Okay, party through them. They have, So this is why it's crazy. They were dining and mingling with all of them. All of a sudden now their money is bad. They were the people enjoying this. We just love Chelsea, nothing to do. But the thing is, we have an owner who is Russian. Yes, that's true. That's correct. But guess what? If they know that he was doing something wrong from then, he hasn't started doing anything wrong now. He's been doing it as far as they're concerned. So for me, I don't understand why now we should have gone.
You know why? MDT before they were taking the money. That's why. He pumped so much money into this country. It's not just Chelsea. Don't forget, charities, NHS. It is the communities. He does so much, and that's why I can't see him going. Them trying to get rid of him because he puts so much money in this country. That's why it's hard to to see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's hard to believe they're going to do that. That's that really put a lot of people against this government. I will throw them out as well. With a lot of backing from hopefully from other fans. There's a lot of votes there.
Yep. Listen, I just want to say something before I forget. I am going to be re-evaluating the mods on my channel because a lot of people who I have as mods, I don't see them a lot in the chat anymore. And there's people in the chat that I think could do a good job as moderators. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you guys in the chat right now. Once the video goes live, once the stream is over, do me a favor. If you want to be a mod, message me in the comment. We'll take it into consideration because I will be taking some of the mods off, and I'll be adding some new mods on. Subhanallah. Listen, this is one of the guys I was actually thinking to add on as a mod. I was literally thinking to add ITM on as a mod, and I was hoping that he'd be interested. So ITM, I will be adding you on as a mod, and you will be a mod as of next stream. So guys, if you want to be a mod, end of the stream, in the chat, type your name and tell me you want to be a mod, and I will be adding some new mods, and I will be taking off some of the previous mods because I'm not really seeing a lot of their action in the stream. So Nick Blue, big up to you, my man. Thank you for coming on. Is there anything else you want to add before I let you go?
I think I said everything about Roman. It's very hard to take. I hope they don't do this.
All right. What about the actual football, the game tomorrow? What do you think about that?
Oh yeah. I was going to mention that. Yeah, I think we ain't going to go with a very weakened team. We're going to play out the players, who haven't been playing, like Werner. I think Lukaku, Werner will start. Probably Bell will start, even if he had a very bad game. He will probably start against Luton. And I can see Rudiger at the back with Sarr and Chalobah. And, not too many changes. Harry Vale, probably, maybe. But there won't be many changes because we have to win. It's a big game, and it won't be easy at Luton. It's not, championship, they're very good. They're very hard to beat, these teams. So, look at Middlesbrough. Let's see, I don't know. I think it's still new. They just started against Tottenham. But they knocked out, Aston Villa last time. So, you never know. So, I think we're going to win tomorrow. We're going to bounce back and win comfortably. And I can see Lukaku getting that goal he should have had on Sunday, which wasn't offside. I keep saying that.
Nick, before I let you go and ask you this question, how do you rate Lukaku's performance in the match against Liverpool?
It was good when he came on. That's what we want to see, the real Lukaku. And that he's got a great goal, great finish, and he wasn't offside. That's that's all to do with the agendas we have. That's the problem. And look, every time we play Liverpool, it's always VAR, the refs, always with Liverpool. We can't lie.
Never a dull moment.
And it's not,
never a dull moment. Yeah. No.
Yeah, and not just Liverpool. Yeah, go on.
No, carry on.
I was just going to say, you look in the past years, you got to see how many decisions, went against us with these referees. Mike Dean, Anthony Taylor, the one on Sunday. We have so many bad referees, but they're not just bad. They don't like Chelsea. That's the problem. They hate us. That's the big thing, and it's true. And we have to get up as Chelsea fans and shout out. We ain't going to take this rubbish. That's what I keep saying.
Yeah, but what do you do? What do you do? That's the question I got to ask, because everyone says we got to not take this.
Couch is not much we can do.
That's exactly the point I'm
trying
to make.
All we can do is shout out.
But
make our voice heard. That's all.
I just
Couch. One second. Couch. 1 second. Yesterday, Jem from GNA TV, he came on and he asked me. He said to me, "How was your view? How was your view?" Now, it's a good question because I am sitting in the stand and I could see better than the referee on the pitch, which was crazy. Why is it that I can see these fouls, these tackles, these incidents from where I'm sitting, from my vantage point, and he on the pitch isn't able to see it. And the thing is this: it's not like there's what's the word here? There isn't clear line of sight. No, he had clear line of sight, especially with the Chalobah incident. I mean, the Mason Mount one, it happened quickly. The Chalobah incident, look, the ball was coming, and the guy knew he wasn't going to get to that ball. He still had his studs up, and he still was pushing towards Chalobah, who he could clearly see in front of him. And he made sure he landed his studs right where he wanted to land his studs. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Nick Blue, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Much appreciated, my brother. We'll see you. We'll see you again.
Nice.
We'll see you again.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Take care,
in
Nick.
response to the question of what Chelsea fans can do about this, I hate injustice, especially when it's meted out on me and mine, and I regard Chelsea Football Club as mine. You see, I also know that it's a very difficult fight because we also have a lot of rival fans who have an interest in this to see to what's happening to Chelsea to persist, gaslighting the situation. Even people that are relatively even, you have them, talking about, well, rival fans are saying the same thing and so on. I'm referring to, Terry Fleurs, who I actually find, for a Man United fan, quite fair. But still...
Great guy.
Yeah, but he gaslights a lot of the complaints that Chelsea fans have. You see, I don't think we should stop. I think we have to keep playing this, beating this drum, even if it sounds like a repeating record. The reason I say this is that, yes, people say, yeah, Chelsea will survive. Yeah, we've been through this, we've been through that. I don't want to survive, just survive. I think this is a gross, premeditated injustice. Mr. Abramovic, you put yourself in his shoes. It is clear this man loves Chelsea. He was fully invested in Chelsea, both financially, emotionally, and everything. His dream was to pass this on to his son and that the legacy will continue right through his family. He wanted to be a part of whatever it was that this club represents. He wanted to be embedded in the fabric of Chelsea because he is a fan, just like one of us. Now, this has been taken away from him, or there is a threat to take it away from him out of spite. I don't think this really has much to do with Russia. There are ways in which that issue can be dealt with. They've targeted this guy specifically. You don't really hear about anybody else. And this is where the injustice lies. And this is what I'm struggling with. You're taking this away from this man. Why? He's a rich man. Okay, he's mingled with some unsavory characters. To be rich, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to walk through the corridors of power, and it stinks whichever nation you go to. You're going to have to look and mingle with people that are somewhat dishonest, unsavory, probably even murderers. But you see, there is legal murdering and there's illegal murdering. I think if you're ruling nations, you can do it somewhat legally. If you're not, you can't. The whole lack of integrity is what turns my stomach. And yes, I'm a Chelsea fan. Yes, I'm biased. But when you start hearing stories like the thing happening to Hawkes, you really begin to wonder, are my emotions in the right place? I feel so saddened today. You know, you can tell in my voice. You know, I've been trying to interact, but there's a very, very bad taste in my mouth. And it's not only because of what's going on in terms of the war, it is the fact that there are people who shouldn't be caught up in this, being caught up in it. And then there is another underlying issue about this, which I think is an even probably bigger problem. And you start to wonder, well, you know, where are my values? Where do I place myself? Football that I used to use in the past to be a little escape, a little getaway from some of these horrors, is now being swept into all of this. So what's the point? You know, what's the point of being a football fan? What's the point of being involved in any of these things? Because it's all dirty. And that's just the feeling I have right now about this whole mess. You know, I was talking to one of you guys earlier, or tech messaging. I'm really seriously considering of unsubscribing my Sky subscription. And if Roman goes, I think I'll very likely do that.
Bobby, I'm going to tell you something. And MDT will also confirm this. Do you know how many brands and how many products I am already not using because of what they are associated with? And a lot of it is to do with what's happening in the Middle East. Companies that we know do certain things and support certain areas. We don't use their products. We don't buy their products. Wherever we can. There are certain areas where we have to make exceptions, but we don't. There's certain stores I wouldn't go and shop in because of who they support and who they back. So this is something that a lot of people already do, Bobby. Already do, and I'll let MDT come in on this and tell me what his experience is on this, because I have a feeling he is in the same boat as me. But as individuals, we have principles, and we have we've got to take a stand somewhere. And if you decide to go down that path, I'll respect that, and and I just want you to know there's a lot of people who are already doing this for things that they believe in, and organizations that they believe are being against us. I'm going to let in MDT come in on this for a couple of seconds, and then I'll go to Tobago and to Showtime. I know you guys have been waiting patiently to come in. MDT, thoughts on boycotts?
Yeah, like Bobby, to be honest with you, you're not the only one. My emotions have been like I can't like. I always say take emotion out of stuff, but when humans are involved, I'm very emotional. That's the only time, like when people are being facing injustice. Like example, people buy a lot of these big companies. Like I don't touch any Unilever product anymore because people think it's only whatever. I don't touch it anymore. Unilever, from the Maroons' land in Jamaica all the way to Palestine, all they do is exploitation. Okay, like if you are a Maroon, you using Unilever product, there are certain aspect of your land in Jamaica that's being exploited with the government and whatever. Unilever is profiting from it. The same thing with Palestine. Their lands are being used, like there are certain produce, like example, even I don't deal with certain, even Tesla. I don't understand the fascination about it. If you read the history of what's going on, you will not touch a lot of product like that. Coca-Cola. There are a lot of produce that what's going on in this world right now, they are doing it to abuse other people's rights are being abused for those produce. And let's say anything that's made in China, like clothes that's made in certain parts of China, to be honest, I don't even buy clothes made in certain area in China, especially because the reason being is, for me, I don't want to benefit from somebody else suffering. It's nothing to do. That's my personal choice. Okay. And there's a lot of things that I import, which are more expensive. But obviously my position is different. I can maybe pay a little bit extra to get it. It's because of that. There are a lot of people that are suffering around the world because of we are using certain things in this West here. But the people that their lands are being taken or that they're being oppressed over it to meet our own needs. So technically, it is crazy when you look at the world. When you look at the world, what's going on, you realize that the real news is not being told. The people suffering is not being told. And sometimes, if you can take a second and look back, you realize that, you know what, I might not be able to help a full length, but if I can stop buying certain product, because I don't want to say names, and then there's maybe legal issue or whatever, but if you do your research, you will see, if you type in a product, you say, okay, can I have an alternative of this? It's available everywhere. You can easily swap buying or helping companies or helping newspapers, even some of these newspapers that we read. You clicking on it online and reading it, you're giving money to one of the worst type of journalism in the world. So these are all things you have to stop. That's why, like, sometimes we have to look before we look into things we invest our time, our money, and our effort into, because we might be helping them do more harm and we don't even know.
Can I just quickly jump on the back of that? I know you wanted to go into Tobago and whatnot, but there's just something I got to say about that, because I'm of the same. This is cut from the same cloth as MDT and Bobby, and you know, ever since the pandemic, I haven't used Amazon at all. They profited off of all of this, and I don't know if you guys know that, but they made exorbitant amount of money and raised the prices on things that were just like common people needed to just get through the pandemic. They raised prices on them and made a crazy profit on it. So I don't use anything Amazon. Stop that right then and there. There's a really good documentary on the Jamaica, what's going on in Jamaica. It's called Life in Debt, which deals with the bananas and milk, like organic farmers there. So for instance, Dole Bananas wants to get in on Jamaica. What they do is local organic farmer is selling bananas for 59 cents a pound, say. Dole, being the big corporate entity that they are, they'll go in and sell them at 39 cents. And, you know, obviously wipe out the independent or the independent businessman. And then once, you know, organic independent businessman is no longer able to fight them, they raise the price of their bananas back to 79 cents a pound. So it's short-term loss for long-term gain. And then, you know, Jamaica's now end up being owned by these corporate brands and whatnot, as opposed to, you know, these independent like farmers that obviously produce better product anyway. So I just wanted to say that that's something that I always I'm cognizant of, and I also avoid at all costs.
Yeah, cheers, Couch. Before I bring in Tobago, we all do our bit. We all do our boycotts, make a stance for either you know, when it comes to recycling, when it comes to using certain products for the environment, for humanitarian reasons. You know, we stop in certain areas and we also give in certain areas, like we give to charity, we give to humanitarian appeals and whatnot. And that is what we do. This is what human beings do. The flip side to it, what the governments do, what the politicians do. You know, you make your own judgment. Tobago, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good. Let me hear your thoughts on anything you've heard tonight, my brother. And thanks for waiting. Apologies for keeping you waiting.
Big up, guys. How are you?
Good, Tobago. Welcome.
I would like to welcome MTT back. We missed you, man.
Thank you, Tobago. I miss you guys as well.
I hope you're good. Anyway, I'm not gonna be long. I'm so tired. I'm so tired about things are happening at Chelsea right now. They want to take a Chelsea Football Club away from Roman Abramovic. That guy worked so hard to build Chelsea Football Club. He even wanted to build a stadium. Unfortunately, he paused it because They took his visa away and stuff. Now they want to take the club away from him because of the war between Russia and Ukraine. It's not his fault. So why should they blame the guy? And then also, to be honest, I'm no longer gonna watch Sky Sport or ESPN or what anymore because those guys are biased against Chelsea. Like, there's so much hate against Chelsea. Like right now, no. It's not fair, to be honest. But anyway, that's how life is. Not everyone gonna love you. I hope tomorrow the guys have fun in the field, win the game for us, and then we move on. Hopefully, I don't want a new owner. I don't want a new owner because, like, I'm hearing rumors we might get the Americans. No. So anyway, guys, no, I'm tired about complaining. We know. Also, Jose Mourinho said it. Chelsea against the world. So nothing we can do.
Tobago, fantastic. Look, you do what you feel is right. You do what's right for you. And, I'm not going to ask people to do anything. Everyone knows what they can and cannot do, what they are able and they're not able to do. So do what's right for you. And like you said, about not wanting a certain ownership from a certain country, all I'm going to say is this. If Roman does have to sell, I couldn't care less where the owner is from, as long as he has in his heart Chelsea, and he wants Chelsea to become a successful football club. If that is his goal, he wants to invest and he wants to inject life into this club, then I don't really have too much of a complaint in regards to where he comes from. But my complaint is, or my desire is, that he has the intention to build and to make Chelsea, or continue the success of Chelsea. Tobago, thank you very much for coming on, mate. I know it's late where you are, and I appreciate you waiting. Have a good night, my brother. Take care, Tobago.
You know, it'd be dope if Roman put in like a stipulation that whoever buys the club or whoever wants to buy the club has to ensure that they buy or redevelop Stamford Bridge, take on the work that he had started, take on the plans and redevelop Stamford Bridge, make it like this 60,000 seat stadium. Then you can problem. No, I totally agree. Put in some conditions for the transaction. Totally agree. But if you put in those conditions and then he buys the club and then he decides to go against those conditions and Roman Abramovich is being sanctioned, how the hell is he going to try to implement that agreement? It's going to be difficult. So it's involved. We can ask. Yeah. No, I see what you mean. Yeah. All right. Tobago is gone. Showtime. Assalamu alaikum, my brother. I hope you're doing good. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Give me your thoughts and opinions on anything that you've heard today so far.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
And thanks for waiting, brother. I know you've been there for ages, so apologies for keeping you waiting.
I was getting some work done while I was listening and overhearing.
Sweet.
Big up to the panel as well and everybody in the chat. Hope all is well. I'm gonna start off by saying the effect that this situation is going on, that is having on individuals, is a big problem, because it seems like the problem, because in my opinion, I'm gonna say this: it is not a war. This is not a war, because if this was a war, Ukraine would not be standing with the amount of power that Putin and Russia has. What is war is what the Western world did in Afghanistan and all these Middle Eastern countries. That is a war, let alone genocide.
Short time. I'm just going to interrupt you for 1 second. I'll let you carry on, because again, this is subjective into a certain degree. But I'm going to just give you a stat. Russia has already lost in the region of 6,000 soldiers. Russia has already lost in the region of 6,000 soldiers. They didn't lose that many until I think after the first year of their invasion into Afghanistan. This is the official figures that I've read. The issue is this. The issue is this. You have to understand something about conflict, and I'm gonna say this because, like I said, I have lived through conflict. One thing that Iraq did in the 90s was invade a neighbor, Kuwait. Iraq invaded Kuwait. Now, Kuwait is a country that is linked to Iraq the same way Ukraine is linked to Russia. There is a big bond between us as families, as tribes, as people. The Iraqis and the Kuwaitis, our roots are the same. Our language is the same. Our religion is the same. We share so much. We share ethnicity that goes back thousands of years. So when that invasion happened, the soldiers did not want to have or did not want to be involved in that conflict, but they were forced to be involved in that conflict. And today, you're seeing the same thing happen in Ukraine. A lot of the Russian soldiers actually were sent across that border with the orders and with the mindset that they are going into Ukraine as peacekeepers. They went in as peacekeepers. Some of these soldiers were met with force that they were not expecting to meet because they thought they were going in as peacekeepers. However, the Ukrainians saw these soldiers coming across that border as invaders. Rightly so, because they're coming into their land uninvited, and they attacked them. And this is why this war right now is political, it's humanitarian, and it's a military disaster for all who are involved. For all who are involved. Now, is it the same as what happened in the Middle East and in Afghanistan, in Africa? Is it the same? Every war is different. No two wars are the same. So we can't compare two wars, but you can compare situations like the situation of Iraq and Kuwait, and Russia and Ukraine. So I don't want to put words in your mouth. I mean, if you don't think this is a war, that's your call. But I want to tell you this: people are getting killed, civilians are getting killed, and military are getting killed, and in large numbers. People are getting displaced in large numbers. Refugees. I feel for every human being, regardless of the color of their skin. Earlier in the stream, we're talking about the way the media was portraying it and the way that the situation was being handled and how unfair and how biased and how hypocritically it was being covered by the media. But that's the media. People are actually suffering. And I don't care what race they are, what religion they are. They're human beings, and I don't want to see anyone suffer. But there is a war. There is a war that's going on in Ukraine. Go on, Showtime. Continue.
I hear you, Mo, but okay. But in regards to it, a war, look, it's things that we see on social media says it all. Things that are going on, it's bad. But it's beyond fight. It's not a fight. I don't think when it comes to this situation, the Western worlds, people like the British Parliament and the United States inducting sanctions on Russian people, individuals, is only because they cannot get into Russia or get at the Russian military. That's why they're singling out individuals and trying to force the hand of Putin to back off Ukraine so that Ukraine can join the UE. That is the bigger picture at hand. So they're trying to use Abramovic.
Sorry, Showtime. I got to interrupt you. Ukraine wants to join NATO, not the UAE.
Yeah.
They want to join
I apologize.
NATO. One thing. Second thing is sanctions look, Iraq was under sanctions for 13 years, so I know about sanctions. Sanctions are imposed on a tier system. They are imposed on imports. They are imposed on exports. They are then imposed on banks. They are imposed on investors, businesses, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The actual what's the word here? The actual control of the sanctions becomes stronger and stronger and stronger as the conflict increases and as the country or the countries want to impose it. I will give you an example. By the end of the sanctions that were imposed on Iraq, Iraq could not get paid a single penny for the oil that it was exporting to the West. The oil that was being exported was paid for by food and medicine. So I would give you oil so you can give me food and medicine. There was no money coming into the country. That's how bad sanctions became. That's how bad sanctions could become on Russia, whereby they will stop every sort of business interaction with Russia and the outside world, and then they will decide what to. If Russia wants to make business and wants to do any dealings, then we would pay you with whatever we want to pay you. I'll pay you carrots for your gas. I'll pay you rice for your oil. You don't want to trade commodities. I don't have to trade commodities with you, and then you can be cut off from the rest of the world. So sanctions can be imposed on many a different level, many a different tier. Continue, Showtime.
Yeah, but the sanctions as of right now, from the president, what we hear from the president of the States is he's imposing sanctions on the wealthy. He's imposing sanctions on the rich in this country, the rich Russians, at that. But my thing is with the MP in Britain or in London or in the UK over there that is forcing Boris Johnson to imposing sanctions on Abramovich. It's like you're forcing something that doesn't need to be forced because Abramovich isn't doing anything wrong. Although he has ties and association to Putin, what does that have to do with the fight in Ukraine? What does that have to do with brothers arguing over certain things? Because in my eyes, I see this as a big brother versus little brother situation that doesn't involve the Western worlds. But the media is making it bigger than what it is because this is what the media does. They don't have no cycle. COVID is over. They have none to talk about. So this is what they're going to bring up. But at the end of the day, when I see videos of Ukrainian people giving the Russian soldiers love and telling them, okay, I'm going to help you lift the flag, I don't see it. I don't call that war because that is not war at all. You can't fight a war with your soldiers on social media and trying to portray like, oh, they're having fun. You have videos of soldiers going into different countries posting videos. I've seen numerous of it. So for me, this is just they're just picking out people to affect and cause harm to people like us who loves a certain club or certain person in regards to Abramovich because he's our owner. Now we have to deal with, we got to sell to an American. As an American, I don't want you to sell this club to an American because then we're gonna have we're gonna become something that we don't want. We don't want to become that small club in Arsenal. We don't want to have to go through those troubles of having our American owner investing in other clubs. We like it what Abramovich is doing. But at the end of the day, we're gonna have to sit here and go through the cycle of Abramovich being in the media. And Abramovich is rarely in the media unless we're winning trophies. So now this is putting pressure on him and putting pressure on the club. But at the end of the day, if we want to get over this, we just got to keep on performing as a club. If we're talking about boycotts like you guys were referring to, it's an extreme post, but I would like our players and our first team members to boycott playing the game. You want to sanction our owner. We don't want to play no more. You lose money, and now your sanctions drop. That's my opinion.
All right. I guess everyone has their way of looking at things. Short time. I don't want to sacrifice the club for the owner. So I don't want the players to boycott matches and not play because of what's happening with the owner. It's the owner's job to defend the players rather than the players to defend the owner. I'll give you an example.
But when the
I
owner's
wouldn't want my daughter to be the one defending me. I want to be the one defending her because I am the one who's responsible for her. I am the one who's accountable for her. Now, that's the way it works. The person who's in charge, it's his job to be the one defending, protecting the ones who are under his care, under his stewardship, using his word.
But there comes a time in life where the roles reverse. You know what I'm saying? It's always the roles will go. This is where the roles have reversed. He's been protecting us. Why don't we give him the protection that he needs?
Would you burn your house down so that you could protect the owner of the house?
If you said it, would I burn my house down? I'm the owner, so how am I?
No. Let's see. You're living with your father, as an example. You're living with your father. Your father owns the house. Okay, would you and you have to burn it down to protect him? Would you burn your house down to protect him?
Yes.
No, you would.
I'm protecting my father. What's more important, the materialistic thing or my bloodline?
No, I'm not saying protecting him from death. I'm not saying protecting him from death. I'm saying protecting him from something, from a situation.
Yeah. For any situation, I'm going to put my father in front of the matter because he's my father. He's the one that gave birth to me. Abramovic, as of right now,
Abramovic. Maybe my example was a little bit off. The point I was trying to make is this: I would not sacrifice the club for the owner. I would not sacrifice the club for Roman Abramovich. That was the point I was trying to make, and probably my example was a little bit off there. I would no way on earth put Roman, Marina, anybody in front of Chelsea Football Club.
I'm going to say this, Mo, and I know you don't like when I say this, but myself, you, everybody in the panel, Abramovich, Marina, Conte, we are all Chelsea. As of right now, we make up the club. Without us, so why can't we? It's not sacrificing something that you're not sacrificing anything.
Would Chelsea go on? Will Chelsea go on without me and you?
Chelsea, as of right now, but like I said, as of right now, we are Chelsea. We're setting up the future.
It will still go on without me and you, right?
Yes, it will.
And I'll tell you something else. It will still go on without Marina and Roman Abramovich.
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
But as of right, like I said, as of right now, we are Chelsea.
Yes.
So we're supposed to defend the badge as long as we can.
Can I just? Yeah.
We are.
Can I just say that? Just to respond to the comments about the players, I don't think the players should be put in the position where, they have to put their future, at risk. They have to put we have no idea what these players are involved in, right? With their wages, they're doing all sorts of things. So they shouldn't be in the position to, potentially jeopardize, their future as players for that, for backing their owner. I don't think it's fair on them. Just like it isn't fair on Tuchel to, somehow put him in the firing line and give him the responsibility of, answering certain questions or, delivering certain statements to fans. So I just don't think it's fair to say the players should boycott anything.
And also, Showtime, can I add this to what you just said? I don't think I agree with Eric. I don't think the players should. This is not their fight. What they should do is play their football, because guess what? If a player contract finish, it's not Roman Abramovich's job to look after the player. So the players is not their job to look after Roman Abramovich. That's Roman Abramovich lawyers and stuff like that. So I don't see that. I remember when Mo Salah signed for Chelsea. Mo, you remember? I sent you that article. Chelsea forced him out to go and did an interview to denounce his support technically for Palestine.
Yeah.
Because of Roman Abramovich was uncomfortable with it, and also people in the media go on. So sometimes we have to be honest. It's not all dandy. This is why I don't like to support individuals. I love Chelsea. I support Chelsea. I'm happy Roman what he did for Chelsea. But he is not like this clean, squeaky clean like everybody, whatever. I don't like injustice against him. And I don't like it against anybody else. That's true. But he's not a saint. There are things he did that he wronged other people too. He robbed other people up the wrong way. So I'm not saying he's, at this moment in time they're picking on him, which is wrong. Okay, but go and look at the article when Mo Salah signed. He was forced to denounce his support for Palestine. Okay, for no reason. Okay, so there are players like Kante, like Rudiger, like Malang Sarr, like whatever, like Ziyech. You don't know their opinion about that. Maybe they have issue with that, but they're not saying anything. They're just doing their job. So they're not having any. So why should they now come and defend somebody when that person never supports them in their cause or what they believe in? Do you get where I'm coming from? So this is a murky situation. This is Roman's issue. Let him deal with it with his lawyers. So, but Chelsea, when people are going after Chelsea, I'm not happy with that. Because this has nothing to do with Chelsea. It has everything to do with our owner. It's like my father committed a crime, and you're coming after me and my mother and my siblings. It's nothing to do with us. Yes, we are associated with my father, but my father is my father. I love him, but he committed the crime. So this is the situation they put in Chelsea and their fans in. Okay, so for me, that's how I see it. So I don't believe the players have anything to do with it. And before Roman Abramovich, there was Chelsea. After Roman Abramovich, there will be Chelsea. Before me, there was Chelsea. After me, there will be Chelsea. The most important thing here is Chelsea. Like I agree with Mo, I will never sacrifice Chelsea for Roman. So as much as I appreciate everything he did for Chelsea, I will never ever sacrifice nobody, even for Chelsea.
At the end of the day, whether or not you think it's Abramovich they defend, they actually defended Chelsea and all, because Chelsea has been through the mud. Because when you see the media come out, it's Chelsea's owner, Abramovich. It's not Roman Abramovich. They say Chelsea's owner. So our name is already in it, regardless of if it's Abramovich or whoever the person is. Our name, our brand is being tarnished because of our owner being Russian. So regardless, we're in a negative aspect already. It's already affecting business. Not only because of our owner, because the media is using our name to attach to the owner.
Okay, you see, I don't want to say this, but I will say it now. Do you know why Chelsea don't have any Middle Eastern sponsors?
Because Roman is Jewish.
Because he didn't want them to offend Israel. Okay, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to go into it. I didn't want to. Okay, so let's not look at it like okay, he's done things. He has discriminated against certain group of individuals because of his association with certain country.
Is that a discrimination or a preference, though? He's not saying, I don't like Palestine, or I don't like the Middle East. He's saying he just don't do business with them.
No, you can. You see, you can say it that way, but other people can look at it differently.
I'm just gonna say it like this. Look, short time. You know, we can dance around the subject and we can say all kinds of stuff. There is a massive concern in the position that Roman Abramovich has when it comes to the Palestinians. If you want, I will send you articles, I will send you reports that show exactly what his involvement is. Okay, let's not hide from it. His situation, his involvement with the Palestinians, with the Muslims, with the Arabs, and even some of the Christians that live in the occupied areas, occupied territory, it's not nice. It's not nice at all. I'm not going to allow people to defend it. Okay, if you want to defend it, we'll have a conversation away from the stream, and I will show you exactly what he's all about when it comes to that. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about him being targeted because he is Russian. The situation is around that. The situation is around his involvement with Putin, his alleged involvement with Putin. And the club is being targeted for that. And that, for me, is an issue. For me. However, if the situation was reversed and they were speaking about him in relation to his involvement with the refugees and the disaster and the displacement of the Arabs and the Muslims and the Christians from the occupied lands, I'll be the first person speaking against him for that. So don't come here and tell me, well, he doesn't this. No. He's done a lot, and I will show you. I will show you myself. All right. In regards to Ukraine, in regards to this, you got to take the situation at hand. And in respect to what he's done for Chelsea, like I've defended Roman, and I will continue to defend him in his ownership of the football club, of Chelsea Football Club. He has done great stuff, great things for the club. I'll defend him for that. So we need to be able to identify things and need to talk about things in a different light. No one is perfect. No one is perfect. And if you make a mistake and you're my friend, I'm still gonna say you made a mistake, even though you're my friend. Let's not try to sugarcoat certain situations and just run around the buildings, man. Run around the houses, as we say. Showtime, what else you want to add to this?
I mean, I don't know the situation about him and what's going on in between Israel and Palestine. I know what's going on between the countries of Israel and Palestine aren't good, and I don't.
No. Him personally,
yeah,
and his companies.
Him personally, I don't.
I'll tell you. I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you afterwards.
I appreciate that, but other than that, for me, it's just let's let the club get over this triumph of him trying to sell. I doubt he's gonna sell. I doubt if the British Parliament forced him to sell, he will sell. I doubt he's gonna sell. He's just all this is just to get us out the media because he doesn't want to tarnish the image of the badge. That's it. He's defending the badge as best as he can. Simple as that for me.
All right, Showtime. Thank you very much. Always appreciate your thoughts and opinions. I have a Liverpool fan wanting to come on. Interesting to have a Liverpool fan jumping on. Let me hear J25. J25, welcome to the stream. What do you wanna tell us, mate? And by the way, congratulations for winning the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that, Kasim. And also commiserations to Edouard Mendy. He did very well. Day before yesterday, he was so good. So about this whole when I saw the Tuchel's press conference, I don't understand why these British journalists are questioning the manager. I mean, first of all, you can't question the manager because he's not involving in politics. He's not a politician. And secondly, about this Abramovic thing, for me, if he sells the club, this is a madness, man. It'll be a madness for me, and it is going to be a huge loss for Chelsea. But we need to find an owner who is very ambitious and who's very ambitious about this club, rather than selecting an American owner who's very greedy, like the Kroenkes or the Glazers. So I just don't want that to happen. But at the end of the day, look. If Abramovich is selling this club, I think it's going to be a massive loss. So that's how I'm going to say.
Yeah, no, it definitely will be. No one has done more for Chelsea than Roman Abramovich. No one has brought more success to any club in the UK in the past 20 years than Roman Abramovich. So it would be sad, it'd be disappointing, it'd be heartbreaking for a lot of people, including myself, to have to part ways with someone that cares so much about and for the club. But the way things are going, geopolitically, business mentality, the man could end up losing everything. And this is his opportunity to try to cut some of them losses. And should he take it? Would he take it? He probably will. Would I want to see him stay? Would I want to see this issue resolved in a way where he doesn't have to sell? Of course. But end of the day, it's not going to be in our hands as fans. And again, I'll address what you said about the American ownership. I'll say this: the owners, if they are, if we do sell and we do get new owners, all I ask is that we get owners that want to put the club first and help the club succeed. That is my main concern, rather than where they are coming from. J25, always a pleasure having you on, mate. Thank you very much for your support
man.
to the
Thanks.
Blue Lounge. Thank you. All right, guys, we are gonna conclude the stream. Before we do, I'm gonna get score predictions from Eric, Bobby, and MDT, and then we will. Oh, I will be doing a watch along tomorrow. I will be doing a watch along. My watch alongs are not the same as everybody else. My watch alongs are chilled. I literally spend the whole time just looking at the screen and like, did we score? Did we this? Did we that? So if you want to get a commentator's watch along, this isn't for you. If you want to get a fan's watch along, with me reacting to what I'm seeing on the screen, you're welcome to join me. I'll be starting my watch along half an hour before kickoff probably, and we'll go on for like an hour after the final whistle to recap. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. Let me start with Bobby. Bobby, what's your final thoughts on the game tomorrow? How do you see it turning out?
Yeah, I found it hard to focus on the game, really.
It is really hard. It is really hard with everything that's going on. I know.
But I think, Luton are going to be your usual tough, championship side that would have done their homework and would love nothing better than to upset the apple cart. I think despite injuries, if our team can manage to be focused, they will turn them over. Having said that, as I've said, I'm trying to get into step back mode from this avalanche of things that seem to be coming at the club. I feel very strange about all of this. Nothing about this really sits well with me. It just doesn't seem, there's no conviction, there's nothing that's right in any of this. And because I feel like this, I just have this feeling that, a lot of the people that desire that Roman sells the club are going to be disappointed. I just think it's not going to happen. I don't know what the situation is right now in with the Ukraine assault, because that's what it seems to be. It seems to be lingering. They seem to be determined to have these sanctions imposed on Russia to put pressure on their leader. How that's going to turn out, there's only one way. I don't think he's going to last. And the way things are going, his own people might be the people to remove him. So I don't know. The situation at the moment looks bleak. It's weird. It doesn't sit well. There's been opportunities out of this to attack Chelsea, but I don't know. Maybe it's wishful thinking. I don't know. It doesn't seem concrete. And I think somewhere along the line, something's going to give. And Roman will remain at Chelsea.
All right. Time will tell. Hopefully the whole situation will become clearer, quicker, or sooner rather than later, because the distraction of this hanging over the club and the players and the continuing shithousery from the press towards Tuchel, it can't be good for us. So I hope we are able to resolve this issue sooner rather than later. Bobby, you give me a score prediction. You don't do score predictions, do you?
No, I don't do scores. I've sort of given an evaluation. It's in our hands,
Yeah.
If we play as we can, we should win tomorrow.
All right, fantastic. Cheers, Bobby. I will see you tomorrow. If you're available tomorrow, I'll be streaming. So if you got time, I'd love to have you on.
Sure.
Cheers, Bobby. Have a good night. Take care,
All right,
brother.
yes.
Take care. Cheers. All right, let's go with Eric Blue. Eric Blue, give me your your final thoughts on the game tomorrow.
I mean, we didn't even talk about the opposition at all.
The opposition, they haven't lost. They've lost 2 games in 15 matches, so that tells you something. They're top 6 in their league. I think they're 6th in their league.
So
they're doing good. They're doing well. Yeah, it's funny that we didn't even talk about the opposition.
Yeah, look, that sounds to me like they're due for a loss. So I'm gonna say 3-0. That's a very funny prediction in the comments. That's not happening.
Yeah, I see it. 8-1. Lukaku super hat trick. Incoming.
You know what? I'll say Lukaku to score. 3-0. Yeah, I expect it to be a forgettable match. Honestly, I don't even think the players will be. They'll just do the job that needs to be done. I don't think the fans will have much to say after the game. I think a lot of people are just a lot more focused on things surrounding obviously the club. Yeah, nowadays football isn't. It's easy. Like it's not so easy to enjoy games and be really into it, right? When things are happening, and obviously bad things are happening all the time, but when things happen not too far away, right? It just reminds you of the state of the world, sadly. So yeah, even though it's not important, like Tuchel said, this game is very it's not irrelevant, but it's not important in context, right? There's a lot more things important than the game, but as supporters, we'll try to gain some kind of positivity, right? And hopefully the win will help us with that. And yeah, we'll just move on. I think there's still there's still a lot to play for the rest of the season. So let's hope that the players, give a good account of themselves and end the season well.
Yeah, I want to see some good performances by some of the lads. I want to see if Mason Mount starts. I want to see him put in a good shift. Lukaku a good shift. Timo Werner a good shift. Jorginho. There's some players that are due a good shift and a good performance. So hopefully they'll do that tomorrow. Eric Blue, always a pleasure, my man. Take care of yourself, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Have a good night,
Thanks.
brother.
Yes, see you later. Thanks, Mo, for gracing us with your presence. We missed you a lot. And
Eric, good to speak to you again.
Yeah. See you later. Bye.
Take care, Eric. Bye-bye. Have a good night. MDT, brother, listen. Mans have been asking about you for time. Literally, I haven't streamed a stream without somebody in the chat asking me where is MDT, when is he coming back, what's the situation. So it's really been a pleasure having you back. I know the circumstances and the discussion was a little bit on the dark side, but these topics sometimes need to be addressed. It's good to have you back, man. Give me your thoughts on the game, but before you give me your thoughts on the game, let the people in the chat know, how you been, man, and what you been up to.
Thank you for having me, Mo. It's just, to be honest with you, football has taken over my life. Like, before joining your stream, I used to most of the time, I tweet about. Because I have a lot of friends who are involved in this, even in the mosque, they're involved in these charitable foundations about peace, preaching about injustice or whatever. So my Twitter was mainly based on that. But then when football come in, it become all about football. So, and then you have your own family, then you have the stream. So every time your phone is beeping, it's about football. It's no more about the activist side anymore. I don't see, even when the people that I normally that talking about other things, and people that I even my work colleagues, that if they tweet something like advertisement or product, I don't see it anymore. So I just needed a space, and with the missus as well, with being busy and the kids needing me and COVID rules being relaxed, I work. So it become too much. It become too much where it's all about football, football, football. And I'm not that kind of person. I'm the kind of person that switch off. I switch off after work. I switch on when I'm with my kids. After watching football, I switch off. When the kids go to bed, I rewatch the football again, analyze it. So that's the thing. I like to switch off and switch on. So, but for the past 2-3 months, it's been too much switch on football, and that affected me. And I kind of feel like sometimes it's just take a back seat. Take a back seat. There are bigger things in the world. And I'm not going to lie to you. It's a good break, like when you switch off that this drum beat about social media. And this, I think I've been on Twitter now since, if I'm not mistaken, 2006, 2007. This is the first time I've switched it off. I've not touched my Twitter in a long time. And I'm not going to lie to you. I've had a little bit of sanity in me. My friends are asking me, oh, Mo, we have not seen you. I'm like, no, don't worry about it. I need to just do other stuff, get out of the microwave wall where everything has to be ready, every news, it gives you like, sometimes you're constantly overfed with information. It's not good. Although I like to read on my time. I like documentary, all those things. That's why I was just taking, I need to just decompress everything. So and I'm glad. I'm not gonna lie. Not that I don't miss you guys. It's just that you have to be at your best to be able to contribute to people. You can't just be half you. And I don't believe in giving half of what I can give, even in the stream. So I feel like I wasn't there all the time. I feel like I was saying the same thing. And I'm a positive person as well. I don't like to kick people when they're down. I defend people when people are after them. So things like that. So when I cannot contribute, I feel like that there's no point to be around. I need to be away. So those are the things. There's nothing. I don't want anybody to think that, there's nothing. You're my brother. Everybody in the stream is my brother. So it's family. So it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, listen, I know exactly what you're saying. Sometimes, we get the international break and people, like, we don't get no days, this. I'll be honest with you. For me, the international break is the only time I can actually, take a step back and just relax a little bit, because football and, social media, YouTube, for me, it's every single day. I mean, tomorrow I got a stream. Thursday I've got something planned. Friday something planned, and then we're back playing against Burnley on Saturday. So there's so much. There's so much that you have to get involved in, and once you commit to it, people depend on you and they rely on you, and it becomes hard to take a step back. So it's good that you've done that. It's good that you've been able to reevaluate and to take a little bit of a breather. MDT, I'm saying this in front of everybody in the chat. This is your channel, so whenever you're able, whenever you have time, we'll be happy to have you on and to get your insight. And today, it was really good to hear from you. Give me your final evaluation of the game tomorrow, brother.
Yeah, I think it's not going to be an easy game. I believe that what's going on right now is affecting everybody, the players, and people underestimate the human aspect of this. It's very emotional. Anyhow you look at it, it's sad. These are family fighting. Like we all said, these are Ukrainian. I've not met a Russian or a Ukrainian that are not related in England here or even in America. Every Russian I've met is either said the mom or dad, one of them is Ukrainian.
Yeah.
I used to have a neighbor 10 years ago, 11 years ago. The husband was half Polish, half Ukrainian. The wife was Ukrainian. The daughter's boyfriend was Ukrainian. They half Polish, half Russian, half Ukrainian family. It's unbelievable. So now looking back, I don't even understand what they're going through right now. So these are the things. These are family. These are like a family issue, which emotionally I feel for everybody.
Abramovic's mother's Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. So, for people like in Britain here, they think it's politics or whatever. But this is bigger than, for these people there, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. This is family. This is a war between two countries that people are related. They by blood, not by whatever. They're related by blood. So it is sad. That's what, for the human level, you know me. I feel so bad for them. But then again, you look at it from a Chelsea perspective, I look at everything going on. I cannot be blamed for my father's sin. Okay, Chelsea is Abramovic's son. Okay, Abramovich is the father. Abramovich done something. If you accuse the father of something, you cannot blame the son or the wife or the extended family. So that's how I look at it. Okay,
But,
because whatever they
MDT, sorry to interrupt you, but the situation is actually like that for Abramovich, because Abramovich, he's being punished because he is a friend of Putin. So he is being punished because he of his association, and Chelsea, the club, is being punished because of the association with Abramovich. So it's a vicious circle, and how far do you go with that circle? I mean,
that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah,
that's what I'm worried because you know why? You know this right now. You know this. Even if you contact, if you go around, you ask. There are people in the Manchester City owners, the whatever. They're worried because they don't understand how this has moved so quickly. So investors, foreign investors in Britain, this is and other places, they're thinking, hang on a sec. So every rich people around the world, they associating with leaders of their country. If you're not, you cannot operate. There's no clean, there's no money, there's no great wealth without great crime. You name a single person that's a wealthy person that's not close to regimes that are doing bad things, whether here in America or whether in Britain, and anywhere in the world. So right now, people like that are investing so much money in Britain, they're worried. They're worried. Okay, they're worried because they're thinking. So this is the thing. I'm not saying he's right or he's wrong. I'm just saying that you cannot just go after and say, we want you to take Chelsea off him, because they've been saying this a long time ago. Okay, but Chelsea, I don't believe Roman, I believe personally, he would rather give this club free to the fans than to sell it if he has the option. Because his pride would know what this is his baby. If he can't find a suitable offer, unless they seize the club of him, if the government seizes the club of him, then we're in trouble. Then what Chelsea fans should do, we should lobby for the club to be handed over to the fans, not to be sold. Because if they sell the club, they will sell it for next to nothing to one of their donors. And their donors will liquefy all the assets. And leave us in debt. And what will end up happening, a venture capitalist will get us, that's the end of Chelsea. So if Roman managed to sell it to a person that will take over Chelsea, whatever, we will be okay. Or else I bet he will give it to Chelsea, the fans. But if the government sees Chelsea, that will be our nightmare, unless we set up Chelsea fund, we set all our differences aside and fight for the club to make sure the government hand it over to us, not to sell it. If the government managed to seize Chelsea, we should fight for the club to be handed over to us, not to be sold to venture capitalists, because that would be the end of Chelsea.
I get
okay,
it.
About tomorrow's game, it's going to be a tough game, but I'm thinking we will win 4-0 because the players are not emotionally, everybody is invested.
MDT, you haven't changed. You haven't changed. It's always 4-0, 3-0 with you. It's always.
I'm always. The thing is, I always look at Chelsea this way. If we play to our potential, nobody can stop. Even the last Saturday, the League Cup game, you saw we had the chances.
Mm-hmm.
And also, when you look at our bench, it was stronger than the Liverpool bench. We have better players than Liverpool. What Liverpool have, they have a system that every player know what to do. Okay, if you check the Chelsea bench, the Chelsea squad is only second to Manchester City. But the thing is, we have players that are not doing, they're performing less than what they should be performing at. So I believe in Chelsea. To be honest, I believe Chelsea don't have any single bad players. What they have is players maybe that are not cannot play under this cannot play in this system or something. But we don't have bad players. We might not have world stars or great players, but we don't have bad players. What we have a good squad if everybody is fit. So I believe if they play to their potential, we'll win 4-0. It's going to be a tough game, but if we fight like them and play our game, we should be able to win 4-0, and everybody should be happy. And then we move on, we come again and deal with the news. And also one advice to the Chelsea fans. Just switch off your social media until after the game. Stop listening to rival fans and all this newspaper, journalists tweeting headlines, because what is not good for your anxiety. It's not good for it. Take a break. I'm begging you. We need every Chelsea fan to be strong.
Switch off social media apart from the YouTube channel and the Blue Lounge. Just keep that notification box.
You can. No, social media, the YouTube, you keep the YouTube on, but your social media, you can keep that on. But your social media is either switch off notification from all these journalists and all these rival fans. Take them off. If not, it's not good for your anxiety, because they keep tweeting stupid things and you keep reading it, going back and forth with them. It's killing you. We need every Chelsea fan to have a clear mind, to stay healthy. This is a fight we have to fight for the club. I'm not talking about fighting for Roman, it's the club we have to fight for. That's the most important thing here. Okay?
Yep.
Up the Chelsea.
Yep. Up the Chelsea. Big up MDT. Hopefully we'll see you more in future streams, brother. Best wishes to you and your family. God bless, Habibi.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ma'asalama, brother. Have a good night. All right. Wow. 3 hours and 15 minutes. 3 hours and 15 minutes. What a stream. 99 likes. You guys are keeping it real. 99 likes. You can't push it to 100? Come on. Look, guys, I told you, I lost a lot of subscribers today. This stream hasn't been great for subscriptions, and I guess it's because the subject is tough. It's a bit touchy. But I'm glad that I've also gained a few. I want to keep it real on the Blue Lounge. I want to keep it real. I want to talk about the things that people don't want to talk about, because these things matter to us. We're not all going to be 100% right all the time. I may say things that tomorrow could be proven wrong. But it's a conversation that I like having with you guys. I like talking to you guys, and I like addressing these topics, because I think it makes us better people when we debate and discuss these issues. If we leave them and don't discuss them, it's gonna build up inside of us. So, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. Kickoff is, I think, 7:15. So I'll be streaming from about 6:45 tomorrow. So I'll be streaming earlier just to get the team news, and I'll be doing a watch along, a chilled watch along. So hope to see you guys then. Have a good night. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you all tomorrow evening. Peace.